It's Jessie May, it's Par. We knit and we knat and we chit and we chat and we knit and we knat and we chit and we chat and we knit and we knat and we chit and we chat and we knit and we knat and we chit and we chat and we knit and we knat and we chit and we chat.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2, coming at you live from the castle in the sky.
It's Jessie May.
It's Park.
We knit,
We knat.
we chit.
And we chat.
Welcome to our web show.
Knit, nat, chit, chat.
That's what it's called.
Yes, this is, thank you everybody for coming to the second episode. How are you feeling, Jessie?
I'm shaking. I'm so nervous. I feel more nervous than I did for the first one, even though I said that I didn't. I'm very nervous.
Yeah, we decided that we felt good about our first episode, and we're like, wow, that's so fun. And then I spent the next 3 weeks being like, I can't wait for the next episode of Knit, Nat, Chit Chat. But then I spent the last week getting re-nervous all over again. It's just the wrong amount of time because now we're like, uh-oh, we don't remember how to do this.
I guess we'll have to do shows more frequently. So this is
Yeah, let's
Just
do,
kidding.
what's it called? Exposure therapy,
Yeah.
where we have to do it every single day.
yeah. I haven't had a chance to be nervous. I feel like I've been so busy. So I actually was feeling fine until maybe 5 minutes before we started. And then I was like, Park was like, feel my heart. And I said, I can't, I'm shaking too much.
Because mine was going, and Jessie was like, I can't, I'm already shaking on my own. Let's take a deep breath.
We also do this before the show.
And Jessie said, should we start by
I'm like,
going
should we
like
start
this?
like this? And Park is like, no, I need to be at
I
the
need to be
control
at my
center.
control center. Uh-oh, Jessie, you're kind of echoing. Oh, no.
Oh no. Am I?
Is it better?
It says reverb. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous.
Okay. Jessie, do a test now.
Test. Is that better?
Maybe we were too excited. I guess we also have a delay in the chat, so we're not going to really know. Oh, setting on the mic. Better. Okay, I think we probably were just overly excited and
Okay, maybe I just
too
need
close
to be a
to
little
each
bit
other's.
further apart.
Let's just talk like this.
Okay.
And make sure that our mics do not echo.
This is my eternal fear, though, because I feel like in the last episode I kept getting far away from the mic,
it
and there
got
were
a little
times
quiet.
when I couldn't hear myself. So, but also I have like a really wild witch cackle when I laugh, so I can't be too close because it's scary.
Okay, but also thank you, chat.
Thank you.
We were going to say, like we said in the first episode,
Kaden said closer was better.
okay, we
Okay.
do have a whole situation going on here with our technology, so thank you for keeping us on our toes and making sure everything is working properly. All right, let's introduce ourselves. Oh, wait, I forgot to say how I'm feeling. I guess I already did.
Yeah.
I'm also nervous, as you can tell.
I will say it's a lot cooler in here.
Yeah, we
this
were
time.
hot last time.
We were very hot last time, but it's cooler here today, so that
cooler.
is great.
It's cooler and we're cooler.
Yeah.
Right, guys?
Debatable. Speak for yourself. I'm feeling a little bit uncool, but that's okay.
Yeah, don't be all uncool. Okay, let's introduce ourselves. Who are you?
I'm Jessie May. I design under the alias Jessie May Designs. Why is it always so weird to say this? Because I never introduce myself. I was just telling Park that I think that 75% of people who actually know me in real life have no idea what I do.
Yeah.
And I don't tell them. So
They would never know the alias Jessie May Designs.
I am an Ojibwe and Filipino knitwear designer. I write size inclusive patterns, and I've been doing it since 2018, and I live in Chicago.
And what's your star sign?
I am an Aquarius sun.
And should we let's say our moon next episode and our rising next episode, and then our
A little teaser.
Yeah, a little
I
teaser.
actually think that my moon might come up a little bit later in the
I think
episode.
if anyone has been paying attention, they're going to already know
The real ones will know.
our entire charts.
It's true.
All right. I am Park Williams. I am also a knitwear designer, hailing from southern Idaho, now living in Chicago. I went to school for theater. Maybe you can tell when I'm on camera why I go like this. Just kidding. It is embarrassing. But what else? Oh, I am a Gemini sun. Also probably why when the camera's on, I go like this.
A beautiful placement.
You know, it's a very polarizing placement. Many people, you either love a Gemini or you hate a Gemini. And this,
And I'm on the love side of polar.
this is
so.
a lover of Gemini space.
Yeah.
That's us.
That's us. Here we are.
Knit Knat Chit Chat.
Knat Chit Chat
Two
episode
friends.
2.
Two friends with maybe one reverbing mic, although we haven't gotten that feedback
Yeah,
yet.
I'm so sorry about that. I feel embarrassed and bad.
Jessie, they forgive you. I'm going to speak for them, and they already forgive you.
Okay.
We are trying our best.
Yes, we are. It's true.
This is a new section of our Knit Knat Chit Chat, which is called
Yeah, coming in hot with a new segment called
Already
Loose Ends. Okay.
Loose Ends.
Loose
Yes.
ends. We have not sewn these ends in, and it's really funny because the first loose end that I see on the orders of business is actually one that I can't do because I forgot the prop. So that
And
loose
also,
end.
it will be this loose end will be woven in next episode. You know how when you have a knitting project and you just can't get yourself to weave in your ends? That's what this is called. This is when we cannot get ourselves to weave in that end yet.
Or you think you've woven in all of your ends and then you're wearing it and you feel a little guy, a little wormy guy somewhere in your little shirt. That's what this is. The little wormy guy is going to worm into the next episode. So that was the first order of business.
Also, I would like everyone to know that all of the loose ends, this is Jessie's segment because apparently she is the only one that needs to do corrections.
I have a corrections corner. I have to.
Take it away.
Okay. So my first correction is that in the last episode, I stated that I hadn't worn lipstick in a year, but that was a lie. I had worn lipstick like maybe 3 weeks before for a photo shoot that I was on record saying that I wore lipstick for because I shared what the lipstick was. So I wanted to correct myself lest I be labeled a liar and a cheat.
This is really dangerous because if we are correcting ourselves on those little things, I can only imagine the things that I'm saying.
I like to own up to my lies.
you're honest.
And that was a lie. My second lie, and this was a huge lie, a big time lie that I got into huge trouble for.
A huge loose end.
A huge loose end, and more so a huge lie, was that I stated that I had not been. I'm not going to be. I stated in the last episode that I have not been getting flowers as often because I can't afford it. It's too expensive. And then the next day I got a swift corrections corner from my partner who said, pardon me, I buy you flowers all the time, which is true.
Yeah.
It's true, and I'm sorry for leaving that out. But I stand by my statement that I have not been buying flowers for myself as often.
Because you used to buy them for
I
yourself
used to buy them for
weekly.
myself weekly, and I just don't anymore. And you may notice that this week we have no flowers.
No
So,
flowers. So also, interesting.
Yeah.
So everyone, please in the chat, say whether or not you forgive Jessie after each one of these loose ends. So far, you've been forgiven for the lipstick.
Okay, I've been forgiven for the first two. This correction is regarding the book that we talked about last time. The book was
Love
written,
Medicine.
Love Medicine by Louise Erdrich, which Park has finished and which I have not. But I stated she was Turtle Mountain Band Ojibwe, which she is, and that's true, but I misspoke. I think I said that she is from central South Dakota, but what I meant is that she was from north central North Dakota it is basically on the border of Canada, and it is in North Dakota. I wanted to correct that because it's important.
Dan says, I forgive, but I don't forget. So those are regarding all of the loose ends.
That's going to be awkward next
While
time I
we
see
are
him,
on
then.
that topic, I know that we do
Alexandra's
probably have. Oh, hi.
We love you.
Also, hi everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Sorry, we
Yeah.
probably get too nervous at the beginning.
We're very
and
into ourselves right now because we're feeling nervous.
We're just only thinking about ourselves.
All we think about is ourselves all the time.
So rude. I was gonna say that yes, I did finish Love Medicine. We will talk about books later, but I might as well just say it now. I loved it,
I'm so glad.
and I'm so happy there are many in the series.
Yeah, there
for
are
me
many
to
in the
keep
series
reading.
that you can keep reading. You can
So,
stay in the universe, and that's
We
beautiful.
can cross that off of our orders of business.
We can. The last loose end, and this is something that I wanted to address after I started to watch the episode myself last time we did this, is that as a Gemini, and I think I spoke about this actually last time regarding audiobooks,
As a Gemini.
as a Gemini moon,
You're not a moon.
I am a Gemini rising.
As a Gemini rising.
As a Gemini rising.
We might as well have just set our whole charts at the beginning.
It's true, but
whatever.
I'm just like, I'm very off today. As a Gemini rising, I much prefer to watch things at 1.25 or 1.5 speed. So if this speed is a little too slow for you, I highly encourage you to do that. It really elevated my listening experience a lot. So
That is, I didn't know this to be true, but that is an inflammatory statement. One time, I very bravely went out on a limb and told my friend Gloria, who, for context, Gloria speaks 1 million miles a
1
minute,
million.
like blah, 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 and bops from topic. So I just assumed it was a safe space to admit that I listen to podcasts on 1.5 or even 2 times speed. Maybe we've already talked about this before. I
feel like we did.
Yeah. But
I thought it was
got
Caden.
shamed. I got absolutely shamed. Oh, Caden also
you
shamed
did say
me.
that somebody shamed you, but you didn't say who did. But
Well, now I'm
today
outing
we're
people.
exposing criminals.
Exposing everyone. Caden shamed me and Gloria shamed me. And you'll be able to put a face to that name in a little bit in the Knat section, just so everybody knows. But this is a safe space for you to watch us in 1.5 or 2 times speed.
Even 2.
2 times might be, I feel like we talk a little bit kind of fast for
I
that.
loved 1.5. It
Okay,
felt
the sweet
really
spot.
sexy to me. Yeah.
I personally like to watch us in 1 times speed.
I don't like looking at myself for that long. No offense. I don't like seeing my micro expressions.
Can't relate.
Okay, it seems that we're ready. We're supposed to be moving on to the invocations, intention setting, and hymn singing portion.
Yes, that's true. So, which spirits are we invoking today? I would like, maybe this is what happened. We didn't invoke them soon enough, and that's why we had the microphone
That's
problem.
true.
So I would like to call upon the spirit of technology to say, please look out for us and make sure everything runs smoothly.
I love
No
smoothies.
lags. Great microphone audio, beautiful video, and
No errant ears.
no ears. Is that technology?
Yeah.
Yes. That's Jessie.
I would like to call on the spirit of courage to calm and calmness to calm me down and to give me the strength I need to get through this episode and feel like okay about it.
And
That fixed everything.
that fixed everything, and that concludes the invocations and intention setting.
Ding.
Ding. We are both drinking a little beautiful drink called H2O.
Love it.
Love it.
I'm also drinking a little beautiful thing called tea. Today we're drinking a cinnamon black tea.
Ooh, yum. Black tea.
I know.
You're gonna be up all
I'm gonna be
night.
zooming.
Whoa.
But you know what? I have so much work to do.
You can
The
stay
girl
up all
bossing
night.
never stops.
Wow.
Maybe I'll stay up all night working.
We were just told that our ohms woke up a dog. Love that.
I love
The dog
dogs.
probably wants to watch the show, so they probably
I
were
love dogs,
excited.
and they could probably sense it.
Okay, so as those of you who've watched episode 1 know, there are always 2 orders of business at Knit Knat Chit Chat. The first, Knit Knat. The second,
Chit Chat.
so let us begin with the Knit Knat section,
Knit Knat section commence.
which I do need to just say, the feedback that I received from my very supportive friends since episode 1 is that, of course, these are my supportive friends, so they're going to come and watch Knit Knat Chit Chat. However, they do not knit. So as soon as we got into the Knit Knat section, they went, uh-oh, I forgot that this podcast is about knitting, and you lost me at the socks. We were talking about toe up socks or bottom down socks, cuff down.
Real knit nerd stuff.
And yeah, so to the people who are not knit nerds, this is your time to go to the bathroom, to turn down the volume, or to just look at us.
Or to read up on the history of a little show called Knit Knat Chit Chat and learn that the first 2 words of Knit Knat Chit Chat are knit and nat.
Yes.
Okay.
And maybe you want to learn a little bit more about knitting.
Educate yourself.
It's beautiful. Caden in the chat says he is today here for the Fleagle
Gleagle.
Fleagle Gleagle.
I will be gleagling all night. Okay.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is what is on our needles, which I think only one of us has something on our needles today.
Only one of us has something on our needles, but I would like to talk about something that has been on my needles for the last 2
And that
weeks.
flew off of it.
They did fly off the needles in spite of the fact that it was size 2. But would you like to go first this time?
Sure.
Yeah.
So, let me get my prop. I have on my needles. Wait, let me do this. Hey, chat, let me know if you liked that or not. Okay.
I liked it.
This is what I'm working on, which is for summer. This will be June, probably, depending. But it is out of Ritual Dyes Undine Dragon Fruit. And we talked about this yarn last time, but let me see if you can get right on up there. It is garter stitch, loose garter stitch. Okay, people are loving the ASMR.
It feels so nice. It's so fluffy and airy.
So it's going to be a raglan loose garter stitch, kind of like, honestly, I do kind of want it to look a little sloppy. Like, you know, when it's just like a summer sweater that is just kind of going to be a throw on over situation.
I love that. Is it going to be like off the shoulder?
It's not off the shoulder, but it is pretty
Really wide.
A little
Okay.
bit boat necky.
Do you know what kind of finishes you're going to do?
No finish for
None?
the top.
Okay.
And
Okay.
probably none for anything.
Easy.
Easy.
People love when there are no finishing steps, honestly.
And it's fun because it is in the round. I personally do not mind purling. I know people don't like to purl, but it is in the round.
It is a privilege to purl, and I love
As James N. Watt says, it is a privilege to purl. So it's in the round, and I am really loving it. It's going very fast. That's what I'm knitting.
I love it.
Love it.
I just finished knitting and sewing in the ends for a new summer tank. This is in the same stitch pattern that my Sunday swirl socks are in. It is like a very simple cable pattern that has lace in between. This is the back. And it has just like a really pretty kind of elegant round neck. It has a little bit of a split hem at the bottom.
Also, I already know this, but look at this. It's so beautiful. There's like a detail that runs all the way down like that. Love it.
Thanks, babe.
You're welcome,
So
babe.
I actually just sent the test email out for this today, or didn't launch the test, but I sent out the testing call today. It filled pretty quickly, but I did want to extend an invitation for tonight only to anybody who's watching this episode. If you want to test that and we're not able to apply, just send us an email. Not us. Me.
Not me.
Send me an email. My email address is on my Instagram, and you can find that. But it's just Jessie Made Designs.
Subject line needs to say VIP entry.
VIP entry.
It is beautiful, and spoiler alert, I modeled it for the photo shoot, and I can attest it's very comfortable.
Thanks.
And I felt very chic.
I love that. I think that it ended up fitting really well. Often I will knit things for Park to model, and I just know her body really well. What can I say? It fit perfectly.
She really just, like, she never has me try them on halfway through. It's like she just knows.
I do.
She's like, here you go, and it does work.
We have an important question in the chat, which is, do you both usually only work on one project at a time? And I will answer for myself, yes. I have a project on my needles, I do it, I finish it. I occasionally will have one project, like a travel project and a bigger project if I don't want to carry a lot of stuff with me. But usually the travel project will be like a pair of socks or something that isn't patterned necessarily.
I also usually am one project at a time. I do have 2 on my needles right now, but that's mainly because, like, time constraints. I have a full wool sweater on my needles, and I know that pattern will not be out until fall. So I was like, I need to start getting on my summer stuff. So it's kind of, I guess it's more like I have usually one in hibernation and then am working on one more.
I agree.
More common.
I often,
diligently.
Currently at the moment, I have a fall design that I won't be releasing until fall that already is on the needles and cast on and mostly written, but I'm not knitting it at the same time as something else.
Jessie, what is the yarn weight of the test?
Yeah, so the yarn weight, it's knit on Undine DK. So the weight is DK, but the needle is a size 3. But the stitch gauge is about 22 stitches. So I would say you would want to use a DK yarn, and probably you could use wool, but this is a cotton linen blend. We've talked about this yarn before, so.
It's very nice.
It's very nice. Yeah.
Speaking of that motif, we're going to now talk about some recent releases.
Oh, I was going to talk about some recent releases.
Yeah.
I released something today. I've been very busy.
Wait, I thought you were going to start with your Sunday Swirl socks. No?
No, I was going to talk this is my Sunday
bad,
Swirl.
Everybody.
No, that release was in June. I'm calling this a Sunday Swirl tank. Something that I already confused you and tricked you with earlier.
You already did.
Next up, I released a pattern today. I talked about these last time, but it's just the little denim dip socks. A little sock I'm liking to call...
Let me just show the V-neck.
A V-neck sock. For those of you who want to show just a little bit of toe cleave, me. I love a sexy foot moment, okay?
And speaking of that, I need to say something, which is that I also modeled these socks. And
we had a big photo shoot day the other day.
If anyone was at the Lincoln Park Conservatory on Sunday inside and saw us taking feet photos,
fetish content,
socked feet photos, obviously, surrounded by families in the middle of the conservatory on a busy Sunday morning. No, you didn't. It wasn't us. It was not us, okay?
And if you did see it, you liked it.
Yeah, if you liked it, though, it was us. But you know what? We have to do what we have to do to get the shot. However, if you noticed today, none of the photos that we took were used on Jessie's release post.
For what it's worth, we took 99% of the photos outside, and we took 2 inside, okay? And some of them did make it.
And some families were really giving us looks.
They were giving us looks of laughter, which, you know what? I'm happy to provide a laugh anytime. If they were giving us looks of hatred, that would also be fine. Yeah. Mind your own beeswax, okay?
Yeah. Some of us have
our bench,
boss.
our problem.
Some of us have to girl boss.
Some of us can't only enjoy the conservancy. Some of us have to girl boss while also trying to enjoy the conservancy.
Is it a conservancy?
I think it's called the conservancy.
Oops, I said conservatory.
Well, they're the same thing.
Oh, okay.
A conservatory is the same thing as a conservancy, I believe.
Oh, okay. And if not, we will correct it next episode. Just kidding. Okay, so my recent release, and I already noticed some people in the chat commenting on the sweater that I'm wearing.
It's something that I like to call her magnum opus.
It is truly will never be topped. So I released the farmland sweater, which is just what I used as the base for this sweater. My original sample I knit in a 100% Cormo yarn from where is it from? Oh yeah, Earth Star Farms in Montana, and I purchased it from Old Sun Knits, and I loved it. I love Cormo yarn so much. But once we had the branding for Knit Knat Chit Chat, I loved the logo so much that I was like, I need to make a graphic sweater of the logo. Let me give you the full on. It's so cute.
Perfect.
So anyway, I needed so many colors and I didn't want to spend a lot of money. It still was a lot of money because it's so many colors, but I just used the Plymouth Encore yarns for this because the palette is perfect. Look at that.
It's gorgeous. I love
like
it.
Exactly our colors. So yeah, it's now this sweater is a 75% acrylic and the rest wool.
That's what that is.
Of course, yeah.
I was trying to figure out what I was feeling.
Yeah.
It feels kind of itchy to me, no offense.
Of course, but you do have major sensory issues.
I do.
I find it fine. I'm excited because a lot of times I feel kind of precious about my yarns if I like spend a lot of money on them. But I love this because I'm like, oh, this acrylic yarn is going to hold up very well, and I'm so happy with how it turned out.
Tark, how long did it take you?
Okay, well, this is the problem. You have to knit a whole sweater first. So
Yeah.
I knit the whole sweater. I started this a long time ago because, as we said in the first episode, we have had this idea for a long time. So I already had the sweater basically all knit, but I was working on it slowly just when I didn't have other projects to work on. The duplicate stitch wouldn't have taken me a long time. I find it very fun to just like do another letter, but I did a stop motion Instagram reel at the same time, and that took me the longest to be like, okay, I can't just zoom. I have to stop at each step and take a picture and make sure that I was doing certain steps when I had daylight out to take a picture in. That was most annoying, but
The reel was so fun.
yeah, you can see the results on our Instagrams if you would like.
Loved it. Love the sweater. Love the reel. She also kept this a secret from me. She didn't show it to me
did.
until like we were ready to launch the show.
Yeah.
And I screamed
Yep. Very
in
good
a way
reaction.
that would very much reverb if I did it.
So yes,
Again.
this is just my farmland sweater, and it's just a basic drop sleeve sweater for your going out in the morning to get your eggs from your chickens vibe. Did that make sense?
Yeah. Our
When you need to
chickens
go-
are here.
When
and
you need to go
that's
throw
what you
on a
did.
sweater before milking your cow in the morning, the farmland sweater.
You wear the cow's favorite show
Yes.
logo. Favorite show's logo.
I won't wear this version. I'll wear my other version.
That's true. There is another version, but that version doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, me
Only
neither.
this one does.
So those are our recent releases, and then shout out to anyone who is using the Chit Chat hotline. But we did get
Many people use it,
are
and
using it.
It's one of my favorite things. Like hearing your voices is so precious and beautiful and
It's
affirming.
so nice.
It's so sweet.
We love your compliments. We also love your suggestions, which somebody suggested, since we did a whole like summer yarn segment last episode, to this episode do more budget friendly options, and we have many to share.
Yeah, and I felt embarrassed that we didn't even talk about it because making knitting financially accessible to people is very important to me. I have pay what you can for all of my patterns, and I always have. And I think, and And oftentimes the yarn that I get is yarn that is sent to me from dyers, right? So I'm not spending my own money on it.
And you have to weigh like small business versus some of the ones we're going to be sharing.
Yeah, they are commercially produced. Some of them are not produced here. You know what I mean? Some of them are only accessible to people via Amazon or, other, like, I don't know, problematic vendors. But if it's what, you know what I mean? If it's what people can afford, and it's, that people should knit with what they have access to.
Yeah. And we have great options.
We do have great options.
We use them actually often.
Yes.
And
I also, with most of my patterns, I do try to include a budget option for yarns. If I can. If there's like an equivalent, I usually do include that in the Ravelry listing. So it's important to us, and we wanted to address it. And so we wanted to talk about yarns that we've used in our designs.
Also, in this next section, we are going to do some fancy technology things, just so you know. So if I'm
our first time.
Yeah, our first time. So if I am more on my control panel right now, that's why.
I think people love seeing a sexy woman not in STEM doing STEM-like things.
Yeah, I think so
love you
too.
being a little computer.
I love it too.
Nerd.
I feel like an astronaut.
Okay. Well, should we do that first?
No, you should probably show the ball of yarn first.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. Okay. The first yarn I want to talk about is a yarn card called Circulo Anne. Now, Circulo, I believe, is a Brazilian yarn brand somewhere in South America. Is where this yarn, or where Circulo is based. This is a mercerized cotton with like a twist. I think it's maybe 2-ply, and it is $8 for a 547 yard skein. It comes in so many colors, and I used it for my Helix halter design. I have another design in the Helix pattern called Helix Pullover, which I use Magpie Fiber Equinox in, and that's like a silk, a pretty pricey silk linen blend. And this, I knit this at the same gauge for the halter version, which I did
nice.
first. It's really nice. It's a really soft cotton with some twist. And I really love it.
Let's show you all the photos of the Helix.
Yeah, let's do a little show and tell.
Wow. Gorgeous.
We love it. Look at Park. Sexy mama.
Sexy. This yarn, though, again, I can attest to wearing the sweater. It was beautiful. It's like, I don't know, I love a cotton, but it was like almost crunchy in a good way, like in a way that didn't make it feel like you were going to be sweaty or anything.
Yeah, we wore that. You were wearing that in Mexico in that photo, so it was hot.
So that is Jessie's Helix halter.
That is my Helix halter.
Oh, wait, we have a funny story about this yarn.
Are you familiar with the brand Circulo?
Circulo. So H&H Americas is a big yarn festival.
It's a conference. It's like a vendor conference, yeah.
And they messaged Jessie and me, Circulo did, to come visit their booth at H&H. And we both wanted to go to H&H.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, okay.
This was a few years ago. They messaged us both and were like, they kind of hotly pursued us, honestly.
Yeah,
like,
they
messaged us multiple times asking us to come. They were interested.
And
maybe even romantically. Just kidding. But they were interested, and they asked us to come several times and like offered us free tickets and like all that.
And they were like, let us know when you're like, it was a vibe where it was like, oh, okay, we have to go to H&H because
Circulo invited us,
and they are expecting us
to be there, right?
So we take public transportation out there, which it's in the suburbs, so it was probably like an
3-hour round trip. Yeah,
hour and a half there and back. We get there.
Wait, let me pause you real quick.
Yeah.
this event also is like, it's more of a vendor event. It's not really, they don't have like yarn or
Which we didn't know.
We didn't know that, but it's not likely something that we like maybe would have gone to if
it was
or been invited to, because it's not really like focused on knitters. It's focused on, I think, vendors or yarn shops,
like
and
people
that
who
kind
are going to be buying in bulk.
wholesale and stuff. Yeah.
So we get there, and
it was the first booth we saw. They had a huge booth. Yeah.
And we walk up to the booth.
And we say, hi.
And really embarrassing to us because
I feel like a person just looked at us and was like, hi, and they kind of walked away. And we're like, okay.
And shame on us for thinking, I don't know. What happened was that we thought that they were really expecting us to come because that was how much we were in contact with them.
Yeah.
And then we get to the booth, and the
nobody
people
there
at the booth had no idea.
Nobody
who
there
we were.
knew. Nobody. It was very obvious immediately that nobody there knew who we were.
And we might have even said like, "Hi, I'm Jessie," and "Hi, I'm part."
I think we like stood around. I think I was like, well, let's just like wait a second to see if like somebody is going to approach us. And and we're not. I also am not comfortable being like, hi.
Are you familiar with us?
You asked us to come here, so we both were just kind of standing, looking at their stuff, like maybe wondering if somebody there would recognize us and be like, oh yeah, like we invited
good.
you.
Thanks for coming or something. But also, you know what? They gave us our free tickets to H&H.
They gave us free tickets, and nobody ever recognized us.
Yeah.
And I think we just ended up walking away from the booth and
like,
having a big laugh about it.
But we did still get goodie bags, and in the goodie bag was the Anne yarn that Jessie used
that I used for the Helix halter.
So you know what?
The lesson is, hand me free yarn and maybe I'll use it for a pattern. Maybe I won't, but
and it worked out for all parties involved.
It did work out for all parties involved,
was
because
a
here I
big
am
laugh.
years later promoting Circular Yarn, and I don't think that I've seen or would have sought out Circular Yarn otherwise, because I don't commonly see it in yarn shops or anything. So
it was really funny, and it gave us a laugh, just mainly because we were like, oh no, we have got to show up to this thing for Circular Yarn.
They want us there so bad, and then we got there and they didn't need us. They didn't care. And it was, I actually thought the way that we handled it was really funny, because it was very classic us. We're not going to walk up and be like, hi, did you invite us here? We're just going to be like, okay, bye.
Beautiful booth and great
Gorgeous booth. Yeah, beautiful yarns. Honestly, I love this cotton. I use it all the time.
Okay, our next one on our list of budget friendly, I used a lot, which is Knit Picks Lindy Chain. This is a lovely yarn. It is linen and cotton, 70% linen and 30% cotton. And I will show you what I knit with it.
I can't wait to share these.
Just be prepped. If anyone if
anyone is a virgin,
if anybody does not want to see side boob, please close your eyes.
This is the side boob of legend that we talked about last week.
Yes, this is the side boob that scandalized the Croatian men. They loved it. This is my Jet Set set. So the Jet Set tunic and the Jet Set pants in the Knit Picks Lindy chain. These photos are gorgeous. Jessie took them on film and in Dubrovnik, and they turned out absolutely stunning. So this yarn, as you can see, knits up beautifully, and I love the feel of it. So that is Knit Picks Lindy chain.
Look at that side boob.
Ew, Jessie. Now you're really going to do your mic is going to get really mad at you now. Everybody, do not encourage that. Although people in the chat are saying legendary side boob.
Everybody compliment Park's side titty, please.
You guys, this show is going downhill quick. Oh my
I think
goodness.
it may be going uphill for some people.
So true. Moving on. What is your next one you're going to tell us about?
The next one I'm going to tell you about is a yarn called Sonnesgarn Tunlinna, I believe is how it's pronounced. If you are Norwegian and I butchered that, I'm very sorry. I think it's a
If
Norwegian
we're saying
yarn.
it how it is spelled to English speakers,
It
it's
says Sonnesgarn Tin Line.
tin line. Just so you can.
But I am
we'll
positive
have,
that's not how it's pronounced.
yeah, and we'll have everything linked in the show notes later, just so everyone can find things.
Yeah. So this yarn is a 53% cotton, 33% viscose, 14% linen
Nice.
yarn. It is so soft and it looks very fine. But it knits up at a really lovely fingering weight gauge. And it is actually a great substitute for Wandering Flock's cotton lino. And it comes in like a beautiful palette.
Yeah,
like look
lots
at these
of gorgeous
colors together.
Look at them.
Very lovely. And it's available, I would say, at most yarn shops. Like I see it at a lot of places. It's pretty. I don't know the exact price, but it's not.
This
I would say it's not.
$7.50. One of them.
Oh,
says
$7.50 for. I think it's 220 meters. I don't know what the imperial measurement is for that. Probably
Sorry
like
about
250, 250 yards maybe. But I have a design that Park will show in a minute called the 1993 tee. I released it last fall.
Here we go.
And I love this because it gives us a chance to allow you to revel in the beauty of our friend Gloria.
Yes. This is Gloria, who, for those of you at the beginning of the show, remember how I was one time shamed for listening to things at 1.5 speed. At least Gloria is beautiful enough to provide that.
Exactly.
Shame.
Gloria, the speed shamer, who is very beautiful. This is called the 1993 tee. I knit it in Wandering Flock Cotton Lino, but I was debating actually using this yarn, the Tin Linna. And it would be a very good substitute for any sort of fingering weight
Gorgeous.
plant-based.
And it
vibe.
feels
It's very
lovely.
drapey. Yes.
Trust us. I know you can't feel it through the camera, but it feels lovely.
It's so soft. Even I could wear this with
Even
my
you.
baby skin
So true.
and sensory issues.
Okay, yes. The next one that we wanted to talk about is Paintbox Yarns Cotton DK, which,
Let's stay on the Sonnesgarn.
oh, yes. Sorry about that. I also have used the Sonnesgarn Mandarin Petite. So I did use it doubled up for this pattern, which I know defeats the purpose on, saving money, but they do have it in multiple different weights. I just liked it doubled up. But this is my Gushy Garter tank. Again, our camera makes things very green, which I like, but that's not the right color of this. So it's definitely not as bright. Mm-hmm. But this is 100% cotton. It's lovely, gushy, and pretty affordable.
I love it. I love the
Love it.
saturation you get with 100% cotton like
Yes,
that. It's so pretty.
true. And then speaking of 100% cotton, the other one that I love is, you love it too, we both knit many things in this, is Paintbox Yarns Cotton DK. It does come in other weights as well. I knit my bow tie tank out of this because the colors are they have so many colors to choose from. So this is like a purpley, and then
This top is so cute.
this top is so cute, and I definitely will wear it to one of our summer episodes because
Sometimes I look at a top and I think that top should make $1 million.
yeah, it should.
It's so cute.
It's so cute and it's so simple.
It's so cute, so simple, so sexy.
and
just what I like.
I bet when I wear it on the episode, you guys are gonna be like, oh, I love that top.
You're going to be like, it's so cute, so sexy, so simple.
Yes, exactly in that order. Somebody's asking, how do these yarns feel to knit? I always feel like plant fibers hurt my hands. I know that there's not a lot of give when you're knitting plant fibers. So yes, I understand that. You do, if you have hands that it starts to hurt, you've got to take breaks. But I don't really find that to be. I don't find it to be too tricky for me.
Here's my experience with knitting with these fibers. I tend to be a very loose knitter, and I always have been from the time I started knitting. But I think I've gotten a little tight, started knitting a little more tightly as I've gone on in time. But I do remember that when I first started knitting with inelastic yarns, notably, I think I used like a blown yarn for something I test knit for you actually, that I hated it. I hated not having the elasticity. And I think at some point as I knit with more and more inelastic yarns, it's a little bit of a different motion or a different sensual experience that you just have to sort of do and get over in order to. It's like anything, right? The more you practice with it, I think the easier it becomes, because it is definitely a different. You have to handle the tension differently, right?
Yeah,
you can't hold it tightly, because it will kill your hands. So, I would say that.
Take breaks, but also practice.
Take breaks, practice, and also if it's not for you, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like if knitting plant fibers isn't for you, that's totally fine. I have things like that, like garter stitch, for example. I love garter stitch. I think it's beautiful, but the sensual experience of repeatedly inserting my needle into a stitch that's oriented like as a purl for a knit and a knit for a purl is very perverted and disturbing to me, and it's not like easeful. So I don't do it, but I love the way that it looks. So
Tiffany in the chat is suggesting, which I think is a great suggestion, is to maybe pick a yarn like a cotton wool blend or something to start dabbling in the plant fibers. The blends are really nice to work with, and usually they are still, depending on the percentage of each, they usually are still very wearable in summertime and stuff.
Yeah, and off the top of my head, we talked about one last week. The Farmer's Daughter Confluence Cotton is a really nice, mostly wool, but also cotton yarn that I love knitting with. So, yeah, good luck. I actually, I'm to the point where it's like sometimes I prefer the experience of knitting with like an inelastic yarn. I find it to be like,
but we do need to be doing our stretches and making sure
it's
our hands are staying. We're getting echoey again. Dang it.
I'm so sorry about this. Am I mic 1 or 2?
You're mic 1. Let me just check on something really quick. Those are all the same.
Is my gain like up? Can you look? So sorry. Should I turn the gain
Try
down?
on a different
Maybe I should turn the gain down.
Yeah.
Turn it off all the way. Okay, is it better or is it worse?
Yeah, we do want to know. Thank you for always in the chat telling
Yes,
us about
please.
that. Always tell us that, because there is nothing worse than you guys having to listen to us echoing.
Okay,
Better.
It's better. Okay.
Okay.
So maybe, okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
Apologies
you.
to anybody watching this afterwards.
Thank you, everybody.
We're a new enterprise and we're still figuring
honestly,
things out.
I'm sorry to say, but even if we're not, I feel like this might happen even when we're not a new enterprise.
Okay. Yes, it's true. It's true.
The tricky part is we can't hear ourselves. We can't hear how it's happening.
You know
but
what?
It's okay.
Perfection is
You're right.
a weapon of capitalism, and we are not going to hold ourselves to that standard.
Yes.
That's something that I work on as somebody who is a little bit of a perfectionist. So.
And Maya Corral in the chat says, I love watching you figure stuff out. It's hot.
That's the best affirmation.
Thank you, Maya.
If we look sexy doing it, then we should be making mistakes all the time.
So true. Okay, our next yarn that we wanted to suggest. We don't have a sample
We
of
don't
this.
have a sample of this.
However,
but
if you scroll far enough down on my Instagram, you can see me knit the Ripple Butt Shorts by Jessie May Designs out of
Designed by
this
me.
yarn.
Shout out to the beautiful angel who was just asking about inelastic yarn, because speaking of a yarn that might be good for you to try, there's a yarn called Haiku Kobasi. It is a cotton, bamboo, silk, and elastic blend.
Get it? Cotton, ba, bamboo, C, silk.
Yeah.
Kobasi.
Very clever. I love it. And it has elastic in it, so it holds its shape super well for summer garments. A lot of like a gripe that a lot of people have with summer fibers is that they're inelastic. They don't have that, the pull of wool. And this one does. So another one that you could try. I love it.
It was really fun too because I knit, if you're not familiar with Jessie's Ripple Butt Shorts, they are ribbed. And so I wanted to make sure like the elastic came in it was so clutch to have because it like I was able to do a summer fiber like cotton blend, but it's still like the elastic made sure it kept its shape.
Yeah,
which
no saggy
I love
butts.
that. No
saggy butt
butts.
shorts.
The last one on our list is Garn Studio Drops Paris. I knit my bold fold out of this. Please hold.
Bold fold, please hold.
Incoming. Ooh.
Sexy, sexy, sexy.
This is my bold fold design. And I love the beige color of this. It comes in a lot of colors. It's a worsted kind of Aran weight. And let me fade back to us really quick, I have the sample here. This cost me less than $15 to make.
Oh, this feels so good,
It's
babe.
nice. That's why I wanted to bring the sample, is because I wanted to talk about it is soft. It is gushy. It's like thick in a nice way.
And gushy.
Yeah. And seriously, it is under $2 a skein.
Yeah.
The skeins are not very big, but this whole thing did cost me less than $15.
Yeah, you do not need to spend millions of dollars on yarn to get a beautiful result. This color is it's like a warm blush
really
tone
pretty.
tan. It is gorgeous. And it is really so squishy. It feels like, I always say this, but it feels like a sweatshirt, like a worn in sweatshirt, and it's soft.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So this is, again, the Garn Studio Drops Paris. 100% cotton.
It is a worsted Aran weight.
All right.
I think that
Okay.
I think that is the end of our roundup. But I want to say, do research. Like, I feel like there are many more inexpensive yarns than there are expensive yarns if you just seek them out. Many yarn shops have, yarns at a variety of price points.
And cotton's especially, cotton blends and cotton is pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, if you learn to just look for the weight that you want, it's nice to experiment with different fibers and figure out, what you like. And the yarn shops are always really happy to guide you towards something with the right composition for what you're working on. Our friend James did a Substack with a bunch of summer yarn recommendations, many of which I've never heard of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would just seek it out. And
luckily with the inexpensive ones, you can test more.
Exactly.
You can just buy one skein and swatch and even see if you like it. And if you hate it, you're only out sometimes $2.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Yeah. Are we ready for a really important section?
Oh, really?
A really important and exciting section.
Okay, let's take a deep breath.
We have a really important announcement to make.
Our important announcement is we have our first sponsor.
Not JK.
We're not
Remember last
kidding.
time at the end of the episode when I was like,
Thank you
This
to our
episode
sponsors.
was brought to you by our sponsors. Just kidding. We don't have any. I'm not going to be able to do that again for the show.
No.
Because
We have a
we have a
sponsor.
sponsor.
And we're actually so excited about this sponsor.
There's not a sponsor that I could be more excited about, probably.
Yeah, when they reached out to us, we were like, wait, are you serious? Should we drum roll?
Us?
Drum roll, please. We would like to shout out our first ever sponsor, CocoKnits.
What?
CocoKnits. Us.
CocoKnits?
We truly were starstruck.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it.
We were like, wait, CocoKnits, the maker.
CocoKnits knows who we are.
CocoKnits knows who we are? CocoKnits, how? How is it
How?
possible? Not only does CocoKnits know who we are, they also make some of our favorite accessories already. So we were like, wait, do you know who's going to be really easy to talk about?
CocoKnits. Because from the time that I started knitting, I think that I bought CocoKnits notions. Like they were, I feel like they're in every yarn shop.
Yeah, they're in so many yarn shops.
They're everywhere, and their notions are so elegant and beautiful. And I've been using like certain ones of them since I've been knitting. So it was kind of shocking.
Yeah.
That they knew who I was and that they wanted to sponsor us.
So we wanted to make the first like CocoKnits segment. We thought it would be just really fun to share the products that we already owned. Like these were not gifted in this first episode because these are things that we truly have used, I want to say upwards of 5 years at least.
Yeah, since 2017 for me probably. Like maybe 8 years I've been using a lot of these things.
So we are going to share just some of our favorite products that we already purchased with our own money and are staples to our knitting game.
Yeah.
And we also, well, we'll talk about it when we get to, I was going to say, I'll just start with that.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite CocoKnits accessories are their stitch markers. Okay, simple but effective. So this we will call sponsorship corner, our sponsorship corner. But I wanted to bring up the stitch markers because that was another reason why we were so excited about CocoKnits, because if you aren't familiar with CocoKnits stitch markers, I'm sorry to any other stitch markers out there, they are the best. And they come in these colors. Knit Knat Chit Chat colors, anyone? Look how much they match. Oh no.
And if you're a person who's like, why would I buy a stitch marker? There are so many different kinds of stitch markers. What makes these stitch markers special?
Yeah.
I would say that maybe we are different kinds of people because I like something to be perfect and to work perfectly in a way that I don't even notice. And I feel like that's true for these stitch markers, and they're the ones that I reach for, in spite of the fact that I have been sent many stitch markers. I've tried many other versions of stitch markers, and these are the ones that I always go back to. They are the right size, they're the right weight.
I have them in basically every size. So this is the, they say this one goes up to the US 13s. These are the ones I use the most. They are metal, but they're coated, so they're smooth, and they come in all different colors. This is good ASMR because I keep dropping them. But they come in all different colors. So my favorite little hack for the CocoKnits is if I'm working on a raglan or something, I use all the same color except for my beginning of round.
Yeah.
And then I'll use a different one as a little unique. But like Jessie said, they're the right weight. They are smooth. They're nice.
Yeah.
And my favorite part, they're cute.
They're adorable. They're beautiful.
The colors are perfect.
You have a color option for everything
These
you
are
need.
the mini ones. You can see. I used to work at Sister Art Studio in Chicago, and we sold tons of CocoKnit stuff, and these would always be the number one thing we would recommend just because those are the jumbos.
Let me see.
Everyone needs
I don't
stitch
have any of
markers,
these. Oh,
obviously.
this color palette is gorgeous.
I know the jumbo ones are a little bit more pastel.
Oh, I love that. I have.
Oh, and one more. These are the opening little like safety
can
pin
I
ones,
see
the
that?
light
Oh, yeah.
bulb ones. Opening colored
I
stitch
have those
markers,
too.
which I love as well.
Mine are all attached to a little magnet, but you can see them.
And I love the little boxes they come in.
Yeah. I have myself a number of other stitch markers from them. I have.
Between the two of us,
We have. I think we
own
have every stitch
single-
marker.
Yes.
I have the precious metal ones. I don't know if it's going to show up on screen, but there's kind of like a gold, a rose gold, and a silver tone in these. And I love them. They're very light. They look very elegant when you're knitting with them. And then I also have the earth tone triangle set, which there's also some blues. I don't have them all on there, but there's like some pastel blues and grays that are also available. And I think it's 3 different sizes. And I love all of these. Depending on the project I'm working and the vibe of the project, I'll use the different stitch markers.
I like to
from
match my
Me
stitch
too.
marker. Like I'll choose like a complementary color, or sometimes I choose like the exact color just because it's really fun.
Yeah.
But I also love, this is one of my favorite, like one of the packs of their stitch markers is one of my favorite gifts to give a new knitter or even someone that has been knitting for a long time that maybe doesn't know about CocoKnits, because it's just a $10 little gift and it's priceless because I use mine constantly.
I use mine constantly as well. I love them so much.
My other favorite CocoKnits accessory that I've had now probably 5 years is their accessory roll. So something really fun about these products from CocoKnits is they are made of craft paper fabric. So it's like paper, and it kind of starts to like age like leather a little bit, and it's washable. I haven't been brave enough to wash mine, mainly because it hasn't gotten dirty and I still like the look of it. I'll still like the look of it after, but anyway, let me show you how it works. So it's just has its 2 little things to keep everything packed in. Throw it in your bag. I always travel with this, and then I just unpack and it unrolls like this, and then I have each pocket stocked. So probably would be easier for a camera up here to show it, but so in this first one I have my try-on cords, my waist yarn if I need it. We'll talk about this in a little bit. A cable needle. In my second one I have a highlighter, a crochet hook, extra interchangeable needles. You guys, I'm not doing this very glamorously. Sorry. And then you just fold it back like that. My next one, what do I have this one stocked with? Oh, my little snips and tapestry needles and extra interchangeable accessories like the little keys. And in my last one, I have a tape measure, and this is a new to me hack from watching one of the CocoKnits videos. I just had my stitch markers in here all loose, and then on the video they said put in a magnet and it just catches all your stitch markers. So I put in one of their magnets, and now all my stitch markers are not going anywhere.
Genius.
That's genius. So I just throw it in there, and that's that.
Park has had this for years, and I've always coveted it. I'm like, that's so cute. It's like minimal. You can pull out.
Yeah, so watch this. Are you ready for a magic trick? Let's say you just want one little section of this. I just need my stitch markers, okay? So, yeah, it snaps out. Very thoughtful design all around by CocoKnits, which...
Truly. I have a little affliction called I'm constantly dropping or knocking over the Notions pouch that
Yeah.
I have next to my knitting chair.
True.
And I, from now on, am just going to keep this next to my knitting chair because everything will be organized. I got this new from CocoKnits.
Yeah, she hasn't been using
I added,
it yet.
it
but-
comes with multiple different elastics, and I added the pink ones. There was also like an aqua color and a white and a black. But yeah, I haven't been using it much yet, but I'm definitely going to keep this in my little, on my little knitting side table. And I do have it stocked with
Yeah, she has her first stab at what she thinks she's
what I
gonna
think
keep
I'm going to
it
keep
stocked
in here.
with.
I'm actually not going to pull out everything because Park just did that, but I will show that I also have this little stitch gauge from CocoKnits. And look at these colors. They're so
yeah,
cute, and it's
these-
just, or not a stitch gauge, a needle
Needle
gauge. So you can, when you're carrying around, interchangeable needles all willy-nilly like, you can always know what size you have
You're
with
like,
this
which
little
one?
tool.
Which one do I have? And you just have a needle and you're like, I don't know which hole it is. And then you just find the ones you think and it will fit if it's the right needle size. Jessie and I already both had these needle gauges because, like we said, their colors really, they speak to us.
Yep. I have several things from them that we already had. But I'm so excited to use this and to not have to covet Parks anymore.
Yes.
I can't wait for it to get like worn in. It definitely feel like the difference in how they feel, Parks that has been used for many years.
Yeah.
And mine is so like obvious. This is like a little bit harder, but CocoKnits does say to throw it in the washer and dryer,
Yeah.
crinkle it up. It gets like a almost leather-like texture. And all of these items, which is something I love, are they're like recyclable. So, no waste. We love that. Their packaging, all of their packaging uses like minimal plastic. I think most of it is recyclable paper, and that is
Look at
very
our
important to
matching
them. But look at our little guys, our twins. They're gonna do so much together. Let's have them
Yeah,
kiss.
Jessica, hello
Let's have them
Jessica,
kiss.
in the chat says that she also has had one for years, and I probably recommended it to her at Sisters, and it's true. Yes.
Do you want to kiss mine? Mine kissed
sorry.
yours. Thank you.
Oh no, CocoKnits is gonna want to get rid of their sponsorship if we start playing Barbies with our roll-up accessory rolls.
I know, it's like it's elegant, and it's I
Yes.
don't know. It's everything they do is so like intentional.
Yeah.
But you know what? My kissing is intentional. So
True.
yeah, it was really exciting
Really
to
exciting.
hear from them because I don't know. I like that all of their products are sustainable. And I also like that on their website they have a list of causes that they support, including like Trevor Project and Campaign Zero, and a lot of good causes that we
Yeah, it felt very aligned, and we don't want to like overwhelm you guys or anything with like sponsored content or like too much like that, but we did want to say yes to things that feel like really aligned, and it was something where Jessie and I were like, oh, we absolutely would love to talk about CocoKnits.
Yeah.
And
it's something that we might have talked about anyway in the way of
Yeah.
like, a Notions feature or
because
whatever.
we
So,
love hearing about, at least I will speak for myself, I
Yeah.
love hearing about products that I didn't know were out there yet, or that people who've been doing something for a really long time and that I usually like their aesthetic. It's like, oh, I would love to hear about what they use. So hopefully you guys like hearing about that too. CocoKnits very generously also sent us some of their new stuff that we haven't tried before. Between the two of us, we had already tried a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
And when I worked at the yarn shop, we were trying a lot of their other things.
and more importantly, everything that I had tried for them, I liked and used extensively.
So they are going to be sending us some of their new stuff that we're really excited about to try, and we're going to, especially both of us during like summer with travel and stuff, we're going to see like how the new accessories work, and we will give you guys reviews after we have tried them out.
Yeah, there are
Honest
a bunch of
reviews.
things that I'm like so
we're very
so
excited.
excited to use. So, yeah.
One of the their new tools, which both of us did use because they sent it this week, I think it just came out. The second version of this is their Fuzz Off Comb 2. So it is a sweater defuzzer, and I used it on my fluorescent sweater the other day because it has, at the sleeves, it had a bunch of fuzz, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It really got a lot off.
Yeah.
And
it's really satisfying too.
Yes. So we wanted to just
I've
plug
used
that.
I've used other like depilling solutions, and nothing was as sexy or satisfying as this little. It's kind of like a razor, but it's not a razor because a razor will damage your clothing. It has like little grooves, so it's like a protected razor almost. And this version that we have is more of a comb that you hold like this. The other one has a handle. The original one has a handle.
Oh, you're doubling again.
I'm so sorry. It's my defective witch voice.
No, it's not your voice.
Okay.
It's the microphone.
Maybe I just
Need
need to be further. Okay. Okay.
Let's just try that.
Let's just try that and see if it works. Thank you, Potato, for the
Thank you.
acoustics training.
And thank you for your username.
Yeah, is it okay? Better. Thank you so much. Thank you, chat. Apologies to anybody
Thank you,
watching this
chat.
after again.
Thank you, chat.
We will get this figured out. I hope it's not like blaring in the way that's like
I know.
violating people.
They can
I'm
turn down
very
their
sorry.
volume, hopefully.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about the Fuzz Off Comb.
Oh yes.
The new version just came out, and it's refillable, which is really cool. So you can change out
Like the razor? Yeah.
part, and it's gentle, like Jessie said, on like delicate fabrics like knits and stuff. And what's really great is it's really small. So I was thinking about how I could, like when I wore my Puff Puff Princess blouse to my sister's baby shower, it's a yarn that pills pretty easily. So I was like, oh, that would have been brilliant to just have already on hand to just like do a little maintenance on the sweaters when you're traveling.
It's funny, you were just talking about how it pills a little bit, and they were like, hey, here's our deep
Here's something for you.
Yeah, a lot of Julie Weissenberg. Is it Weissenberg or Weissenberger?
Uh-oh.
Sorry. CocoKnits. The woman who started CocoKnits is so cool. And it's Weissenberg.
I think so too.
Yeah. That was what happened with Megan last week too. I got it wrong right the first time, and then I doubted myself.
Well, also, if you're not familiar with the CocoKnits method, Julie created it, and it's like a way to shape.
It's Weissenberger.
Oh, okay.
It is Weissenberger.
Good thing you corrected.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I knew
CocoKnits.
something
Sorry, Julie.
sounded wrong. But yeah, CocoKnits has their own sweater method that I think Julie created. It's like specifically it's a shoulder construction.
Yes, very cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. That we both are like, we want to try that. Because I've never knit a CocoKnits method sweater, but I've always been very curious about it. So
Donna at Sister Arts has taught classes on CocoKnits method, so people really, really love it.
yeah.
So we just wanted to say thank you to CocoKnits.
Thank you, CocoKnits. What
And
a shock. And we're delighted and so excited.
We are very excited to continue our little trying of all of the fun
everything that we asked for.
CocoKnits accessories.
And we could have asked for there are so many more things that like somebody said they love the absorbent towel.
Yes, that was sold out. I really wanted to try the absorbent towel. That would be so helpful for blocking.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So our first CocoKnits.
Our first sponsor.
Shout out. Our first sponsor. Can't believe it.
Wait, should we pose for our thumbnail like this?
Oh.
I don't know that.
I don't know that's the right one.
We'll try again later.
Yeah, that was very exciting to us.
Speaking of sponsors, we did want to say that we have a very fun giveaway from the Wandering Flock. So you might remember from episode 1 where we talked and also this episode where we talked about cotton lino yarn, and Geraldine from Wandering Flock said that she would do a giveaway with us for the Knat Chit Chat Watchers.
Yes, very generously just offered it.
It's also nice of us. We're really burying this giveaway in the middle of the episode, so only the real
fans
are gonna get to enter. Okay?
Are going to get to enter, yes.
So for the chance to win 4 skeins of cotton lino yarn,
gorgeous cotton lino. The colorways are amazing,
Gorgeous.
and she's coming out with more.
yes. So we will announce the winner in our next episode, but it will be for 4 skeins of yarn. You need to leave a comment on this video, which the chat does not count. So make sure when the replay is up, you leave a comment on the actual video.
Yes.
Subscribe to the channel, and also subscribe to my newsletter, Jessie's newsletter, and the Wandering Flock newsletter. All of the links will be in the description.
And you can also look on our websites. I mean,
Yes.
just go to our websites and the newsletter page, but you will need to be subscribed to everything in order to enter. But I'm very excited about this giveaway because this yarn is incredible to knit and work with.
It's the best.
Luxurious. It is like, it has the nicest feel in the needles. We talked about it a little bit.
Sorry
last
that
episode.
I'm digging in my mouth. I have fuzz in my mouth, but I got it.
A classic thing for a knitter to have in their mouth.
While
So-
we're on the subject of that, let me say that, no, never mind. It's going to come up later.
Okay. So that's the giveaway. We love Geraldine. We love the Wandering Flock. She dyes the best colors. Her color sense is out of this world. She does the most beautiful
Let me go
neons
back to the 1993 tea
and
pictures,
pastels.
these are the pics.
Yeah,
I mean, these are the colors.
Now this is on film, so there's a little bit of a shift towards like warmth, I would say, in this, but the colors are so beautiful. I couldn't choose one when she asked if I wanted to design with it last year, so I used almost all of them.
Yeah.
I love it, and I love working with her.
So please enter the giveaway.
Enter the giveaway, and you might
Do it for yourself.
You might win 4 skeins of cotton lino with which you can knit.
It goes pretty
It
far.
goes pretty far.
There's a lot of yardage on
I would
those
say
skeins.
4 skeins is a sweater quantity, or a summer garment quantity for most sizes, depending on what you're making. So thank you, Geraldine, for offering that. We are not seeking sponsors or anything. I love that people are just like, want to be nice to us. That feels really good.
We're not seeking them, though.
But I think I saw somebody in the chat say, wait, can I sponsor the chat? We would be happy to shout out anybody who wants to give us $69 million. So, yes. Sure.
Our next order of business in the Knat section is the Farmer's Daughter Fibers is hosting a Tanks and Tees make-along from April 15th to June 30th. And we wanted to shout it out because yay. And also because we both have a lot of tanks and tees you could knit
for these.
There's amazing prizes. I think the only rule is you just can knit any tank or tee pattern out of yarn purchased from Farmer's Daughter Fibers.
Yes.
So
we love to support. Candace
Yes.
is such a good, has so many cool yarns, love supporting a fellow Indigenous woman, and I feel like her knit-alongs are always really like fun.
Yeah, there's going to be a Discord, I remember, and maybe like a cast-on type party or a few little like fun events like that. So if anyone is looking for camaraderie and community while getting their summer knits in order, give it a look.
Yeah, there is one coming up starting this week. So
Yep. We now wanted to talk about our last order of business in the Knit Knat section, which is
a big announcement.
another big
Huge.
announcement. Wow, this is just an episode of huge announcements. We're really giving these mics a run for their money.
After the first episode, we were a little bit like, we can't wait to do this again.
We were like, oh man, we have to wait a whole month? It's too long.
But also, we don't really have the capacity to do a show of this level of production where my mic is messing up every 5 seconds. And no, we just, like I've said before, I have a really small apartment. It's like kind of a production to like get everything where it needs to go. But we wanted to do something a little more casual so that, you know, we could kill time between episodes.
Yeah, so we put our brains together and we came up with Knit, Knat, Sit, Sat. Do you guys like it?
Do you like
Let
it?
us
What
know
do you
in the
think
chat.
it's going to be?
So Knit, Knat, Sit, Sat is just basically like an hour-ish long Saturday morning. We're not going to have our orders of business. We might have a few, but really it's just going to be very casual knitting and chatting, still with the chat and everything.
But chatting more directly with you, because I think as we're talking about our agenda, it's a little bit difficult to, you know, address what's happening in the chat. But the sit sat is going to be a little bit more of us like in conversation with the chat as we're knitting.
And actually, being knitting, very casual, drinking our coffee with you guys. Hopefully you also are drinking your coffee. So that first one will be on May 3rd. And so Knit Nat Sit Sat Saturday morning, 10:30 Central Time.
And we're going to try to do this also, you know, as we're able to. I think the summer is going to be a little bit hard. I will be gone most of the weekends, but
it could also eventually maybe be like something where we come in from separate places, or we just wanted basically a casual version,
hangout where where it's like the same community that we're trying to like interact with more, right?
Maybe we won't be wearing lipstick,
maybe we're not wearing lipstick,
maybe we're wearing sweats,
maybe we're wearing
my favorite thing to wear,
Park's favorite thing to wear, and
knitting, natting, sitting and satting.
I can't wait. I'm really excited for that one. We always were kind of planning on like doing this, I think, and then we talked about doing maybe a more casual thing in between episodes, but it really sort of we decided we actually were going to do it after episode 1 when we were like that was really
like,
fun.
Wait,
and
we miss everyone.
We miss everybody, and we can't believe we're not going to see them for a month.
We miss everyone, and also we really need a way to just focus on the chat.
Yeah. Which I'm trying to be a little better at, but I don't think it's going super great. I'm seeing a lot of the comments, though. Yeah. And I like seeing them. It's very affirming. When the chat gets quiet, I'm like, is the chat alive?
But then also we have to remind ourselves that most of our audience is probably knitting right now.
That's true.
And you know what? Chatting, typing, and knitting at the same time, that's going to be tricky.
It's true.
So we can remember that. No need to be constantly chatting us up. But if you want to. Well, that concludes the Knit Nat portion of the episode. I didn't want to clap too loudly, but that's what it felt like.
Now we get to move on to our true passion.
Chit chat.
Chit chatting.
Jessie, what have you been up to?
Oh, what have I been up to? I went to a powwow last month, as I stated I was going to. I went to a powwow in Forest County, Wisconsin, which is like north central Wisconsin. It was a powwow put on by the Forest County Potawatomi, and it was the end of winter powwow. So that was beautiful. My partner and I stayed in a cute little hotel, and had a really fun supper club experience.
Oh, everybody
loves a supper club.
One of my deepest loves in this life is a Wisconsin supper club. Supper club culture. If you don't know what it is, you need to come to Wisconsin.
You need to go to Wisconsin. It's true.
It is basically like, we're not even going to go into it, but just picture this. A top secret Wisconsin drink. Just kidding, it's not top secret, but I didn't know about it. It's called a brandy old-fashioned sweet or sour. You can decide. Mm-hmm. Picture this prime rib.
Ugh, my favorite.
Delish. And the locale, you never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to
get.
Sometimes it looks like you're pulling into somebody's house.
Truly, which is my favorite type of experience. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, but I was forever changed after attending my first supper club.
Yeah, a supper club is like, the idea is you sit in the front and you have like a little drink before your dinner, which is, it's kind of like standard in certain ways now, but I feel like Wisconsin really probably innovated it. You have your little, usually there's a bar in the front of the supper club, and then you enter after your little
And
cocktail
there's different
hour.
like price points and stuff, right?
Yeah, some
but
supper clubs are very fancy,
But
but
most-
whether they're fancy has nothing to do with what the vibe of the place
Yes.
is. For example, the place that I went into last weekend was very like 80s cafeteria chairs,
Amazing.
long brown tables that have folding legs, but has like a $80 like ribeye on the menu, which is just really funny.
I love a dive bar vibe, and I love a little quaint, cozy special thing. And so
Yeah.
when Jessie took me to my first supper club, also I'm from Idaho, and I feel like Idaho and Wisconsin, we've talked about it a lot, it's like kind of like the same but different font.
Yeah, it's like there are a lot of cultural similarities.
Yeah, so I
will
felt
say.
like I was like, I can't believe Idaho doesn't really,
Yeah.
this isn't like part of the culture, but it also didn't feel like, it felt like I was like, oh yeah, I'm home.
It's weird that supper club culture never took off, or maybe people just
Well, we
didn't want to call
certainly
it a
don't
supper
call it
club.
supper.
Yeah. But yeah, we went to a supper club that was so funny and great, and that was a good powwow. It was I had some driving adventures on the way home. We went through it started the last day of the powwow. There was a horrible blizzard. It wasn't
It's
good.
spring.
It usually would probably take an hour and a half to get to Green Bay from where we were, and Green Bay is 3 hours from Chicago at least. But it took us like 3 hours to get to Green Bay, and by the time we got to Green Bay in the
Yikes.
interstate, it was undrivable. You couldn't see 10 feet ahead of you. We literally had to pull off on the first exit and just stay there, which was very inconvenient. We weren't sure if it was going to stop snowing. It was a whole thing.
Not good.
But nevertheless, it was fun. Yeah, so that was the first powwow I went to. And then I had to take a little bit of an unexpected trip home last week. One of my best friends growing up, her father passed away. So I went to the funeral, and as a bonus, I got to go home and like see my mom and do some family stuff and visit my reservation. I took a moccasin class at the college.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was really fun. I got them all cut out. I need to do the beadwork still for them, but yeah, I did a moccasin class, and then my friend Carrie lives in Minneapolis, so I did a couple of days in Minneapolis just to be with her after the funeral to support her, and just so she didn't have to be alone. So I was there for a while. Yeah, and that's what I've been up to. So I do feel like I had a lot of knitting time in that time, but I didn't have a lot of like working time, and I have so much work. I have so much work to do. But so I had some unexpected travel. It was nice, but I didn't get to, I feel like I haven't seen you since,
I know.
I don't know.
Because you were probably gone for like almost 2
I
weeks.
was gone for almost 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's like 2 weeks since 2 weeks of, maybe that's why
No
it felt
wonder
like
we
the
have a
last
lot of
show
chit chat to
was-
catch up on.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to. How about you?
What have I been up to? I really have not been up to much. However, I was spending a lot of March. I know maybe this should have been in my loose ends thing, a corrections corner. I know in the last episode I said I'm not a big fan of basketball. I was like, I don't really follow basketball. Joke's on me, because yes, I do. I follow one part of basketball and one part only, and that is the NCAA March Madness tournament. Only the women's. Sorry, can't be bothered. But the Women's March Madness, I really was watching it and following it. I have been for, like, I got in on, if you can get me in on, like, narratives and stuff, I am set. So I was very excited about this tournament.
Hold on. Caden is so good at that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Caden is not the kind of guy who's like, hey, be interested in this thing I'm interested in.
No.
He will put together a full presentation of
He
all
will.
of the like things that we would love.
The reasons why
We would love it, and immediately we become invested.
And
in whatever it
Caden,
is.
I'm also grateful for, because, you know, there's a lot of sports bros out there, but I am dating a true sports girly. Like, Caden doesn't just watch sports for sports. He loves sports deeply to his core, and that means he loves most all sports.
Yeah.
So he loves soccer is his number one. But he's not just watching men's soccer. He's also watching the U.S. women's national team. He's watching every single one of their games, similar to March Madness. So when we started watching the women's tournament, I was pretty much immediately hooked because, so fun. Something about, let me just say a little bit, not to talk too much about sports because I know this is Knat Chit Chat, but
This is Chit Chat.
This is the Chit Chat portion. Okay. And I guess I do dabble in sports sometimes.
I also dabble in sports sometimes.
We do. We
We
are
do.
sports.
Here's what I love. Here's what I love about sports. First of all, I love figure skating. Figure skating is one of my niche interests that I know I used to figure skate. It's one of my niche interests that I know so much about. But the thing I love about any sport game, anything that I see where there's a competition, isn't the competition like whatever. It's like the raw human emotion that like comes from it, and also the like seeing people do things as a non-athlete that I would just never be able to do. I find it to be really like amazing and like mind-blowing to watch. So.
I have to be careful though, because I can get really worked up and really invested.
It really does get
and
into
I can really go, this is what is so funny about me, is I can really give or take, and I can be like, I will never watch sports ever again in my whole life, or I accidentally get way too invested. So it's hard for me. I have to do the balance of like, do I want to start investing a lot of energy into this, because I'm an empath, okay?
Let me tell you.
I feel too much.
Yeah. We'll talk about this a little bit more later too. But my experience with sports is that I grew up in Wisconsin. My brother played hockey. People in Wisconsin love the Packers, the only community-owned professional sports team, I will say. But there was a point when I became an adult, I don't know, maybe in the last 10 or 15 years, maybe the last 10 years, that I stopped following sports in a serious way, just because like the politics of it are horrible. The NFL is disgusting. I can't turn off the part of my brain that's like, this is bad. And I also just don't have any tolerance for like watching violence anymore. The older I get in my body, the harder it is for me to watch something where I know people might get hurt. So I am an empath. As an empath, I can't watch it anymore. But I'll watch the Super Bowl and I might really get into it. You know what I mean? Like in the right context. Or maybe I won't watch it at all. Yeah. But don't get me talking about football, because I unfortunately know a lot about it. I also know a lot about hockey and a lot of other sports. I know a little about every sport. So it's a very weird and shocking part of my personality that I keep hidden that a lot of people don't know about.
True. It is true. It
but
is
I
shocking.
mean, I'll start watching anything. A tennis tournament.
We just dropped some things,
a little
but
bit of a
it's
man
okay.
overboard. It's okay.
I only really do, because of Caden, I really only do the sports that he's into, because he's really into sports. So it's like I can't add more sports to my life that already has a lot of sports in it through him. So through that, I now am a big soccer girly. I don't do basketball except for the NCAA
I
women's
don't do soccer except for the World Cup, where Caden makes an entire annotated list and spreadsheet of like reasons I should be invested,
and makes sure to put pictures of the hottest players that he knows.
The
we
ones
both
that he
will
knows
love.
I'll like.
But let me tell you a little embarrassing thing about the Women's March Madness this time. Well, this part is not embarrassing, which is it was truly a storyline, picture perfect. It went perfect. So the final ended up being UConn and South Carolina. UConn was fun because it was a team this year of the power of friendship, okay? Everyone was talking about it. They have Paige Beckers.
That's the power we have.
Of friendship. Something we love, the power of
Can we
friendship.
find a better way to hold hands on the podcast that isn't like that? Like this.
Okay. Anyway.
She doesn't want to hold my
I don't
hand.
want to right now. So, anyway, the other team is South Carolina, who is coached by Dawn Staley, one of the original, basically on the original team,
All-timers.
yes, of the WNBA. So, was one of the first players on the Olympic. I'm going to get this all mixed up, but it's like she was on the Olympic teams that made it so they had such a fan base that they were like, we actually could make a women's league. So thus created the WNBA. Anyway, she's coaching South Carolina, and then UConn has all these fun players that I got a lot of narrative around. So I was excited either way. UConn's players had a bunch of injuries. They had their star player, Paige Beckers, had an ACL injury, and it was like this was her last year before being number 1 draft in the WNBA. She doesn't have a national championship. She got her team, blah, blah, blah. So it was like, okay, I can't wait for a final, which I don't care who wins because both were so fun.
I just want everybody to have fun. Like, that's
Yes.
my orientation towards sports. I'm like,
Yes.
I want people to be nice to each other and to have fun.
Now, this is where the embarrassing part comes in. I accidentally started watching too many edits on my TikTok algorithm about Paige and her best friend, AZ Fudd. So they are the two stars, those two and Sarah Strong. Those are like the stars right now of UConn, and rightly so because, spoiler alert, they did end up winning by quite a lot.
Go Huskies.
Go Huskies.
Just kidding, I don't care.
Ruff,
But,
ruff. But my algorithm started to give me so many edits, and there's some talk about Paige and AZ. Maybe for those of you who are familiar with the famous sports lesbian lore, Tobin Heath and Kristen Press, okay? That's soccer. Wow, we're really going on a tangent here, but
No, let's go down
walk
it.
with me. It's fun. So Tobin and Kristen Press, they had a secret 8-year relationship where people were starting to get onto them because they were on the same team, the winningest, most U.S. women's national team soccer we're talking about now. So they're both incredible soccer players, but the fans were starting to be like, did you guys see this picture of them sharing a seat when they went to visit the White House? Wait, why did Kristen just wink at the camera and then we see Tobin pass? Like, that level of sleuthing and really of hoping that they were in love. And now people are kind of saying that Paige and AZ, there's maybe a Kristen Press, Tobin Heath narrative happening. So something I love is a little like fun, secretive romance happening, and to find little clues and sleuthing. Is it a little invasive, these TikTok things where it's like one of them has their hand out and the other like does like as they're leaving the court? That's the level that I'm getting at. It truly feels like I'm a teenager on Tumblr right now. Like, narratives about two strangers. But what is undeniable, whether or not they are in love, they clearly are in love. Whether or not it is friendship or more, the chemistry
both
is
are equally important and valid.
undeniable. Okay, so we'll see. Anyway,
you may have heard that here first.
No, you certainly didn't.
I mean, the rest of the world didn't hear it here first. But I don't know that there's a huge WNBA contingent, correct me if I'm wrong, among our viewership.
You're right.
So you truly may have heard it here first, and you have part to thank for that.
If I was brave enough, I would pull up my TikTok algorithm right now to show you that within the first 5 swipes, there would be a Paige and AZ edit. Because I, unfortunately, have been watching way too many. Very fun.
See,
though.
everybody's shipping them now.
Okay, good.
You've done your work.
Yeah, and the dream would really be that next week at the WNBA, there's like a hard launch of some kind because now they're no longer on the same team. I understand also, obviously, why you wouldn't want to go public with a relationship. How fun to keep it just a little private thing for yourself. And also
That's what
because
I like to do.
people like me, weirdos, are getting too invested in your personal life.
It's true.
Keep some things for yourself. But also, I would love it. So, Paige, Izzy, if you're watching this, a little smooch at the WNBA draft, please.
They're
Wow.
for sure going to see that.
They are for sure watching Knit
It's
Chit
going to the
Chat.
top of their YouTube
Yes,
algorithm.
definitely. Everyone, give them if you're interested in this, just type in Paige Beckers and Izzy Fudd into your TikTok, and you're gonna see lots of stolen glances. You're gonna see lots of accidental touches, not accidental, but like ways to make sure they're touching each other. They've been best friends since high school. Cute. Okay, that's all for me.
I love it. Does that conclude our...
You guys, I'm embarrassed. I'm actually so embarrassed. That was probably 10 minutes of me talking like that.
I love it. That is what the people are here for. When Park starts going on something, I love when Park comes over and is like watching something and wants to give me the 20-minute like short notes about what's happening. She's like, she does that with Housewives all the time.
do.
I've watched some of the Housewives.
Yeah,
My
Jessie-
history with Housewives is that I watched Housewives like 20 years, like when the OC was on, and I watched maybe the first few seasons, and then I haven't really watched Housewives since. I've seen like a few seasons of like the original franchises, and I haven't watched anything since. And I'm not really, I know enough. I know people are, but I'm not really interested in it.
But she really indulges me.
But I love hearing Park and James talk about it.
She really lets me.
I love when Park comes over, and then like I think when we went to Detroit last month, a lot of the conversation was Park and James filling me in on lore of like what has happened.
Yes.
So I don't need to watch Housewives.
I really we'll get like an hour into our hang, and then I'll be like, Jessie, I need to talk to you about something. And that something is Real Housewives of OC. And then I need to give her like my little rundown. And it's the best because you know enough and you know the characters that I can go on my little tangents of talking about everything I need to talk about. And you're there for it and you're living it with me.
One of my favorite things in life is like watching somebody else experience something for the first time that I've already experienced, because I want to know like everything that they think, and I want to know if Park is like annoyed by the same people or likes the same people.
We often will watch something and be texting like the entire time separately in our own houses, like our reactions, live reactions to things.
And very occasionally Park is like, I'm going to watch Housewives, and I'll be like, what episode are you on? I'll start it in the middle of whatever, just watch one episode so we can like live, you know, text about whatever is happening. Yeah.
It's just something we do.
It's just something we like to do. It's a thing that friends like to do. I'm sure many people here do the same thing. Okay, are we done with the what
we are more than done with the what we've been up to. I think yes, we're done.
Hold on, I need to add something to the show notes.
Okay. The next thing we are just going to talk about, which is quick, is that what books. And like I already said, I finished Love Medicine. I absolutely loved it. Highly recommend. It's one of a series, so I can't wait to keep reading the other books. And then I did start, which when I posted about this on Instagram, everyone was talking about how much they loved this book. So I'm very excited. But I'm now reading The God of the Woods. I'm not that far in, like 40 pages in, but I already really like it, by Liz Moore. And
will I like it if you read it and like it? Do you think I will like it?
Probably. Everyone loves it.
Sometimes.
But you're right.
I have that wolf in me that sometimes if everybody loves it, I don't even know that I'm not liking it because of that, but it's hard for me.
So far, and Maya recommended it to me too, and she said it read a lot like a movie almost, which is kind of the vibe that I want.
Script, kind of? Okay.
Not like a script, but like you're watching like a limited series or
something.
Okay.
Vibe.
That
is
that's
fun.
That's how it's already feeling to me.
Yeah.
It's like takes place at this camp, and like a summer camp, and there's kind of like mystery happening, so it does kind of read like a limited series vibe. So I'll keep you updated.
Nice. Mm-hmm. I didn't finish Love Medicine, which is what we already talked about. I will though. I will.
Yeah.
But I did on my travels from Chicago to where my mom lives, Hayward. it is about a 6.5 hour drive reliably. And then from Hayward to Minneapolis, it's like 2.5 hours. And then from Minneapolis back to Chicago, it's about 6.5 hours. So I've had about 15 hours of driving in the last couple of weeks that I was able to start a new audiobook for. Now, I bought the actual book for this and have been intending to read it for such a long time, but I haven't. And it's Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver.
It's about this thick.
It's really thick. I really like her writing. And this is just like, it's like a coming of age tale about a kid in Lee County, West Virginia, like Appalachia, and the voice of the character is very like interesting and likable, and like all of the characters are in the
and the audiobook's good.
Are so alive. Yes,
Nice.
there's voices. They do voices in the audiobook,
love
and they're
that.
good, and like the person narrating has an actual like I think the correct accent, like really good, really great audiobook. Because sometimes what I want in an audiobook is different than what I want in an actual book, right? Like,
Oh, definitely.
so yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I think I'm almost finished with it.
That's a good way to do it because truly the book is this big.
Yeah.
You need to go on a few road trips.
It is very big. But also when I get zooming and reading, I feel like I can get through a book like that pretty quickly. So I've been bad. I've been out of the habit of reading. I need to get back into it. So yeah. Is that the end of our book section?
Yes.
Let's move on to a section that I love. Video games.
A section that I have been so off of.
Yeah, I'm
That's
still
okay.
very much on Balatro, which is an easy game to pick up and set down. You can play it on your phone too if you want. But I haven't been playing any video games aside from that one for like the last month. I haven't had any dedicated video game time. But I did want to address some Hotline comments about Stardew because, man, when you talk about Stardew, people love it. The chat goes crazy.
Hotline.
The Chit Chat hotline goes crazy. And we received a comment from somebody. I kind of wish that I had just copied and pasted it. But somebody said that they too can't help but min-max. So thank you for seeing me when you're playing Stardew. And then they suggested a game called Coral Island. And I wanted to address that because I did download Coral Island, but I have never played it. I played the first like 10 minutes, and honestly, when I started playing it, it just made me want to play Stardew. I was like, this is like Stardew, but like a little more cartoony, and it made me like miss my real boyfriend, Stardew. So
Yes.
I couldn't continue my relationship with Coral Island. I'm sure that it's really fun, and also it might have been in beta when I started it, so maybe I'll get to it someday. But I did want to talk about a game that I really want to play. That there's this gamer, there's like a streamer that I watch YouTubes of. I think, I don't know what his name is actually. The channel is called Once Upon a Playthrough, and the guy's handle I think is That Guy Rye, but he's like a really like, he has a channel that's focused on cozy games, which are games like Stardew.
Yeah.
And it's like him experiencing the game for the first time, and like he has just like a really calming presence. Like my partner and I were watching it yesterday, and he's like, is this guy trying to be my dad? It's like he's like so just like has such a like nice calming vibe. And he started playing a game called Fields of Mystria, which is only available on PC, I think, right now. But he described it as Stardew for baddies. And like just from the screenshots, it's like everything's a little more sexy, a little more anime.
But also,
like
Stardew is already for baddies.
I'll be the judge of that. No, Stardew is for baddies. It's true. But
Yeah.
Stardew for real baddies, like, these people are sexy, and they probably have big boobs in the way that only Haley in Stardew Valley has big boobs. So that I've noticed.
Yeah, we can't relate to that.
So it's a game that I relate to.
Mm-hmm.
And I would really like to play it. I will probably never have a Steam Deck or a gaming
it's
PC,
tricky.
but I think that it is coming to console like this
got
year,
to.
and I'm very excited about it. So, Stardew Crew, that's what we're playing next. Fields
Okay.
of Mystria,
As
and
soon
like
as it hits.
maybe I'll even Twitch like playing
As soon
it.
as it hits the consoles.
As soon as it drops, I'm leaving knitting. I'm not doing this podcast anymore.
We're retiring
Just
from
kidding.
Knat Chit Chat, and we're just Fields
Fields of
of
Mystria.
Mystria.
Okay. Ooh, that is a great comment. Everyone click the like button to help the channel.
Ooh,
Thank you.
thank
Blue
you.
Knitter is always giving great
Thank you, the
tips
Blue Knitter. We love
to
that.
help us. And If you don't like the channel, you don't have to click it, but we would appreciate it if you did.
Yeah, what's it
What's
gonna
not
cost
to like?
ya?
If you're still watching right now and you don't like us, I'm afraid for you. Not because you should like us, but like you shouldn't fixate on things that you don't like.
Please
So
don't watch if
don't
you don't
watch
like
if
us.
you don't like us. Thank you.
or just don't watch if you don't like it. That's a great tip.
Yeah. Okay, next section.
Do you feel like we should save that for our next episode?
No.
Okay.
Why?
I don't know, because
Park is sick of you all.
no, I'm not. But maybe you guys are sick of me.
No, I want to talk about what we've been watching. Why are you trying to?
Mainly because I just talked for like 1 hour about what I was
Okay,
watching.
well, I would like to talk for 1 hour about what I was watching.
Let's do it.
And it's called the Figure Skating World Championships. Now, if you are into
Speaking of sports,
if you're into drama, if you're into pageantry, if you're into I don't know. What is
Glamour.
it? If you're into glamour, if you're into like that really specific type of glamour, elegance. Their professional figure skating has no following anymore. It's like really only people like me, like weirdo. It's such a niche interest. There's no money in it. Like, but every Olympic cycle it comes up, and people, like to get into it. I think it's a sport that like people associate like with the Olympics.
Yeah.
And
a little echo.
Oh no.
She's getting worked up by the figure skating.
I am getting worked up. I'm so sorry.
Should we switch?
I really want to fix this. Maybe.
Let's try that.
Okay. Better.
Okay. Let's try.
Okay. But the Figure Skating World Championships were the week that I was home. And this little girl, not little girl anymore, she's probably in her 20s now, but there was an amazing story. And it's this girl, her name's Alyssa Liu. She left the sport a few years ago, sort of. She retired, and she came back after being it's so hard to regain your skills, like
I can't. Yeah.
as at that level of like, a profession of figure skating, especially. She decided to come back on a whim like last year, and she won the world championships. That is so hard to do.
Potato says her performance was amazing.
It was incredible. She left the sport at a time that like a lot of little Russian girls were winning, and the Russian style of skating is how should I say it? There are a lot of beautiful skaters, but there's a lot of like doping that was happening, and the International Skating Union did something really weird not weird. In reaction to the war in Ukraine, they like banned Russian figure skaters from competing. So skating had gotten boring for a while because it was sort of all Russian skaters all the time who were winning, like little tiny Russian teenagers, and those were the only people who were ever winning. Like you were never seeing like women or people who like had been in the sport for a long time win. And now that they've been gone for a couple of years, like, more skaters are coming back and doing better. And it's just like much more interesting competitively to see other people win. And so I'm just so happy for her. Like she was a child prodigy kind of, and then ended up leaving the sport really like early and quickly. And she came back and she won, and I loved that.
That was what made the March Madness so fun too. It was like these huge injuries happen, and then huge comeback story that's like so rare.
It's so compelling. It's such a like human, I don't know. I just like feel things when I see people having like extreme like
perseverance through it all. And also, can you
Something
imagine
that
how
I don't
scary
have.
that would be to think like, oh, your career's over?
I know. I can't commit to anything, so I just like really admire. I find myself drawn to people and things that are like really committed to like a specific pursuit.
True.
Which leads us to our next topic.
This is our next topic. Well, you've been watching.
What have I been watching? It's true. There's a for people. And if there's something that people want to talk about that isn't Stardew Valley, when I bring it up, it is Survivor. My best friend Samantha Irby is for many years has been saying that Survivor is the best show on television, and I don't watch very much television, but I have to say I agree. I've watched every season at this point. Like when COVID started,
yeah, you started in COVID.
I was watching like a season a day. I was hooked. I'm obsessed with it. And now I like watch weekly when it's on, and I listen to podcasts about it. I'm like, what kind of person am I? But the social dynamics, I mean, there's a competitive aspect that I like, but it's the social politicking that is so interesting to me. I love just like
it is in a league of its own, we'll say. My origin story to Survivor, starting to watch Survivor, I haven't watched any of the new stuff, but mine was through Jessie, because I was watching The Traitors, and I watched the first season with Suri, and I immediately loved her. And I was telling Jessie about the season, and I was like, you've got to watch Traitors. And then Jessie's like, maybe I'd also then started watching season 2, because then Parvati's on it too. Yeah. So I was like, I love them. And Jessie's like, the time has come for you to begin your Survivor arc.
I have something to say about Traitors. It is not a good like competition show. It's a very it's like funny to, I guess it's interesting to see like famous people from other reality shows like interacting, or even just like famous people in general. But as a game, it's flawed. Very flawed and low, in my opinion. It's flawed and boring, and
really when we're watching it, when we watch Traitors, what happened this most recent season of Traitors is, okay, I'd already watched some Survivor seasons, which we'll get to, and I already was like, this is the best reality game to ever exist. Then I started watching the next season of Traitors, and it's like, what we really want is this group of people playing Survivor. Like, come on, we need it to be real.
I feel like the people who are on Survivor just are like the elite athletes of all reality show or reality competition shows.
There's nothing like it, and it's social game, physical game. It's like it used to be survival. It isn't so much anymore since the seasons are a little bit short, or a little bit short, or a little bit shorter, But it's everything about it is compelling to me, and I can't get enough of it. And what happened was I fell in love with Suri on Traitors, and then Jessie was like, okay, it's time for us to watch.
If you're in love with Suri, you need to see Suri
and
Parvati as part of the Black Widow Brigade.
The Black Widow Brigade. What season is that?
Oh my God, it's the Micronesia season, I think. Okay, maybe. I don't know.
We don't know which.
We don't know what. I don't know the season number. I'm very bad at this type of trivia. But
it is the best season. I'm gonna say it. The best season of reality show television to ever to exist.
Men being constantly humiliated.
Women are so powerful.
There's the women being so powerful and using their like feminine wiles to trick everybody. It's beautiful. And Suri just being the best of all of them. Like
Suri, oh my God.
She has a galaxy mind. She is a person who was just like a Survivor watcher. She's like, I was the person on the couch. Like, and she just like goes on the show, and she's actually never won. No spoilers, but she's never won, but she is incredible. People have to get her out because she's so good.
Yeah,
and
people say she's the best Survivor player to have never won, and that is true.
She's so subtle in the way that she moves.
And the things that she can pull off.
Just planting the tiniest seed. Incredible.
Give it a watch.
She's a master.
So like we were talking about earlier, I get, like with sports, I get extremely invested. So the reason why maybe you feel when we get to the Survivor section that I have to have a little distance, I feel myself having to pull out a little bit, because it hits me in a deep place inside of my soul, which is when I started watching, I had the little notion inside of my head go off that said, which I don't mean this to toot my own horn or anything, because that I truly think like being on Survivor is one of the wildest things anyone could ever do, and it is I just feel like it's
hard. It's so hard, and you have to be so lucky also.
Hard is an understatement, and Also, I think it's extremely honorable. It's a very honorable reality show to participate in. Not all of them are.
It's true.
So I was watching, and I just had the little thought inside of my head, and I had to go out on a limb and text Jessie and say, wait, Jessie, do you think I would be good at Survivor?
Of all the people I know, there's nobody who would be better at Survivor than Park. Also, Park in general, just as a person, is like the perfect type of person to have on Survivor. She is so likable.
My
she
God.
is so helpful. She's so helpful. Like, she'd be so helpful around camp. She would know how to be just, likable enough, but not too likable where people are like, ooh, she's a threat. We need to get her out. Like, she's going to,
I was telling Jessie, like, first of all, it's truly, I feel it is the highest compliment.
Wait, hold on. She also is an extremely talented natural athlete without practicing anything at all.
Jessie and I did text about this extensively because number one, I feel like it is truly the highest compliment. Even though I fished for it and I said, do you think I'd be good on Survivor? Because I kind of think I would. The fact that she said yes, I felt, oh my God, I can do anything.
Yeah.
If Jessie believes in me, that I would be a good Survivor player. Then I started to really think about it. Like, I was like, okay, I could apply. No, I would never apply. That's too scary. I can't do it. But then I was like, $1 million potentially? Whoa. In this economy?
Yes, please.
You need to do that. But then I was like, wait, okay, I'm really helpful. So that would help me through the first little bit where, like, they're not going to try to vote
Building
off someone
camp,
that
like
is
chopping
good at making
bamboo.
a fire. Like, I'm going to do what you need to do.
You would go catch a fish. You would do anything. You would climb
catch
a
a
tree.
fish. I'm not super, like, muscly, so I'm not like one of the big muscle guys that people would immediately see as a threat. So maybe I could be wily like that.
You don't complain. You're, like, never annoying. She's never complaining.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to bring down the vibes of the tribe. Like, no way. I would mesh as well as I could to be like, we're keeping the vibes nice and good, but I'm not going to be overly anything. I do feel like one of my strengths is kind of like reading the room and adjusting accordingly. So I feel like that's good.
You, as Maya says, you have great side boob and great camping skills. Two of the most important things on Survivor.
Yeah, truly, watching the Black Widow Brigade season, I was like, we got to bring back the just wearing the buff as a bikini. We need the boobies out.
Nobody wears bathing suits anymore.
Yeah, we need
Bring
that.
it back.
Also, I would be half in my bikini, half in my full sun hat, long sleeves. Like, please, I would
Park
be dressed
has
like a
two
camping
sides.
uncle.
Yeah, sexy bikini lady and camping dad, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, not even camping uncle.
Those are my two aesthetics.
Those are her two aesthetics.
Which
and
I
the
think
two wolves
are
who live
perfect
within
for Survivor.
inside her.
But then let me tell my funny Survivor story. Are we ready to go on a walk with me again?
Yeah.
Okay, so last year when I started to get into it, it was around like February of last year, and Jessie was telling me which seasons to watch, so I was deep in it. I was truly like, Caden and I would go on a walk every day, and I would start talking to him about like, okay, should I apply to Survivor? This is what I would do. This is why I think I'd be good. I was starting to to maybe a little bit of an unhealthy amount. I was like fixated on my Survivor journey, and I was talking to everyone about it, and I'd go to bed thinking about it. Anyway, I had to get surgery to get my IUD out last year, and so I had to be put under anesthesia. And oh my God, when I'm going under, this is all what Caden relayed back to me. So the doctor came out to Caden, and she said, everything went really well. I loved my doctor, my OBGYN, Dr. Perry. Everything went really well. She's doing great. I do need to tell you what she said to me right as she was starting to go under anesthesia. They're wheeling me out. I'm starting to go to sleep. I look Dr. Perry in the face and I go, Dr. Perry, you and I are going to go on Survivor and we're going to win it all.
That's so humiliating and funny.
To my OBGYN, about to perform surgery on me. She is scrubbed up, and I look at her, and obviously it's a deep
you really
honor.
love her. Deep honor.
Kaden, I'm sure, told her that I just need you to know, to her, that's a great honor to say that she was going to team up with you and that you guys were going to win Survivor together. Not only just win it, we were going to win it all. Oh my God, humiliating. Could be a lot worse, though.
I love that story.
Something mean.
It's such a cute story. She's so cute.
So as you can see, it infects my mind, and so I do have to tread lightly. And
and Park doesn't watch like active seasons.
I have to dabble.
She has to dabble.
I have started.
But every once in a while, I'll send a little text that says, "Who wants to come over and knit and watch Survivor?"
Yeah, and I just started the Boston Rob and Amba season where they fall in love. I love watching people falling in love, as we know. I think
we have James hooked on Survivor.
Yeah.
He was very compelled. Somebody that I did not think we would hook, honestly. We were watching like an independent episode or an independent season finishing up, and he's like, this is really compelling. The CocoKnits season, a great season. And he's like, this is so compelling, I can't watch it.
We were towards like the finale or like a tribal council, and it was like Tony and Woo, and it was juicy, and then James was like, wait, we can't leave until we finish this. And we were like, you know what? And then Jessie and I conferred, and we said, you know who would love the Black Widow Brigade? James and Watts. So then we watched all of that.
There's nobody who loves a woman the way that James loves a woman. No. I'll say that much.
So true.
True girl scroll.
Powerful women.
Powerful women. It's true.
Doing bad and doing good.
Okay.
That is our Survivor segment. Thank you all so much.
And we have
watch it if you haven't.
We have one last segment that I can't wait to get to.
Oh yeah.
This is called the JMM Mystery Segment. A segment that is a surprise to Park.
Okay.
In which I bring a little something I like to call a bag of tricks.
Wow. A mystery.
A mystery bag of tricks. I have 2 tricks in here today, and you're going to experience both. But the order in which you experience them...
I hope they're treats and not tricks.
...is yet to be seen.
No. This, if you can't read it, is called a Big Mama Pickled Sausage.
This comes from a little place...
Jessie
on my reservation called the Lacutere Quick Stop.
Nice.
And we're going to have a little taste test right now. ASMR.
The Big Mama Pickled Sausage. Let's give it a taste. Maybe it's a rip. Ew! Oh my God, that is so sick. There is hot dog juice all over me. You guys, the mystery bag. The juice is so pink. Okay.
Oh, that smells like pickles.
That is so sick. And better not have gotten on my new sweater. And wow. I can't wait to eat this hot dog.
Oh my God. The look on your face.
Yeah, because I'm disgusted by it now. It's delicious.
Let me try it.
Unfortunately, it's delicious, but that was sick.
Oh.
Ew!
This hot dog is leaking everywhere.
This is horrible. You guys.
Yum, that is good though.
You guys. Knat Chit Chat. Knat Chit Chat is really starting to starting to go off the rails here.
I will be finishing that
Okay.
sausage later if you're not.
It was delicious. The juice, I could have done without.
The way it plopped out.
It was horrifying.
This might be a 2-woman sausage.
We will finish this later when we can eat it in a more delicate, beautiful,
I'm
and
sorry,
not
but that
on
was
camera
the best
manner.
part of the show. Okay, bag of tricks.
I'm scared now.
This one will be easier.
Oh my god. Yes. Yes.
Have you had these before?
No.
I didn't think so.
Cheetos, flaming hot, dill pickle, chips.
Another LCO quick stop treasure.
I'm so excited. Let's hope that we can open this in a more appropriate manner.
I want another bite of sausage so bad, but Park put it so far away from me.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I'm excited. Smell them.
Could use more pickle.
Oh, it smells really pickledy to me. Okay.
I have sausage in my mouth, so it's hard to tell. Ooh, a nice color.
Really pickly.
Cleanse my palate.
Delicious, but let me see if the flaming hot part comes.
It's very offset by the pickle. Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Okay, those are good. The flaming hot barely kind of comes in at the end, which does mean you can eat more of them.
Babe, the flaming hot is there. I give these a 10 out of 10. Yum.
Yum.
It kind of has like, I don't know, like the spicy, kind of like Takis that have the like, it has that vibe of having like a citric acid, but it's pickle.
I'm going to say
dilly.
something. I think that I might just prefer pickle and flaming hot separate because I love them both. And this one, it feels like, uh-oh.
They're fighting.
Uh-huh.
I like it.
They're still good, though. Yum.
Try spilling it on water first.
On sweater
Oh,
first.
did you see that that Popeyes has a pickle lemonade?
No.
Sage just told me that. So
Yum. I will be getting that.
pickle lemonade.
Wow.
Coming
A real bag of
soon. Tricks. And treats. Here,
And treats.
should we do our selfies
Tricks
still?
and treats.
Hold on.
Are we still beautiful, you guys? Because, wow, we've
I
really been
don't-
through it today. We are now
I-
covered in hot dog juice.
I'm having an ugly day,
No,
and it's
you're not.
okay. Should we do... Where's Gloria to take our screenshot?
Oh, God.
Park
Sorry, you
cannot
guys.
stop flopping this sausage onto the
I don't want the
table.
sausage in my picture. We need to just make sure that we can get a cute thumbnail for...
Be
the
patient
vibe.
with us, please.
Is that cute, you guys? Let me show off my sweater.
Okay.
Okay, enough out of that. You guys, we are truly, really going off the rails here.
We are. And
This
that concludes our Chit Chat section.
episode 2, we really said, wow,
Wow.
let's go wild.
Did you like the surprise segment, or did you
I
hate it?
loved the surprise segment.
I'll
However,
have I'll have
not
sausage
like-
napkins next time.
Yeah, I did not love the hot dog juice getting all over my sweater. Okay, we are now entering, we're on our wind down, everyone. Thank you for watching. We are now to our Exaltations corner, which we wanted to first start by exalting all of you who are watching right now.
Especially all of you who are watching right now.
Especially,
you for being
especially
the
after
real,
watching when we just
true
had
ones.
hot dog juice all over us.
Something we've gone through together and
Yeah,
live
we're
that nobody
bonded.
else. We are bonded.
Forever.
We're sausage bonded forever.
Yes. And
Sausage
we
Sisters.
wanted to also exalt everyone for who watched our first show and who commented and called the Chit Chat hotline. You guys, I kind of forgot because I'm not on YouTube a ton, but how much like commenting culture is a thing on YouTube, and everyone is so nice and leaving such nice comments, and we really, really appreciate it.
I love people having a space to leave like more long form comments that you don't have to be afraid of. I mean, maybe somebody will leave mean comments, but sometimes when I see a long comment on Instagram, I'm like, uh-oh, who's yelling at me?
Yeah.
So we love that. We also love all of your story reshares. Like, we truly like this show, doing the show the first time, we were so nervous. It gave us lifeblood for like a week. We felt just so like happy and affirmed.
And especially when you guys were sharing your stories, like knitting and watching us, or like eating your dinner and watching us, that was the sweetest, coziest
Nothing
thing in
could
the
be
whole
cuter
world.
than seeing us on your screens with whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
It was really lovely.
So thank you all.
Thank
It's very
you.
affirming.
Exalting
and
you.
Sweet. Exalting you.
Yeah. Another thing that was very affirming and sweet that we already touched on was the Chit Chat hotline. Like, getting to hear your little voices.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I shouldn't say especially, because it's really sweet when you text the hotline too, but those of you that left actual voicemails,
You're so brave.
You're
first of all.
brave. That is like, who does that anymore? Like, we never really call each other anymore, and like phone is such a different beast, and so it was really sweet to hear your actual voices like on voicemail. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah. I would like to exalt a group of people I would like to call the EPA. Now, you may think that the EPA has been dismantled, but I'm here to tell you that it hasn't. The EPA are the Ear Patrol Angels. And that is referring to all of the people in the first episode who said Ear Patrol about my ears coming out in my little greasy hair. I have greasy hair today too. One of these days I'll wash my hair 2 days before the show and it will be perfect. But this is not that day. And so you will constantly see me doing one of my little annoying stims.
We were told after the fact that someone was in fact in the chat saying Ear Patrol for Jessie. We just were not paying attention to the chat enough.
Yes. And to the person who said Ear Patrol, you are the realest one. Thank you. You are the EPA, and I am going to request that people continue to be on Ear Patrol until forever, because the last thing I ever want is you to be able to see.
I kind of like it because you look like a little elf. It's cute.
I like that in somebody else, not in me.
The next thing we wanted to talk about, as we're looking like elves, is one of our best friends, James N. Watts, is having a birthday sale coming up soon. His birthday is April 22nd, so the birthday sale will be Earth Day.
Imagine sharing a birthday with the Earth.
Earth Day. So that will be April 22nd to April 29th. There is a really cool pattern that will be coming out at the same time. Let me give you a little teaser, and you can think about how cool the pattern will actually look. The pattern is called A Shirt of Fire and Ice. It's a modular knit, so let that tickle your imagination.
I saw maybe on Threads the other day a post that was like, fantasy authors really need to stop naming things in the form of a blank, and blank. And I'm here to say I disagree with that, and I think that tweet should be banned.
Yes.
While we're taking away free speech, let's take away free speech of a person who has such a wrong opinion about how fantasies and shirts should be named.
Yes, A Shirt of Fire and Ice.
Really makes me laugh.
All right, next, what do we have? Our prophecies corner. What do you have coming up, Jessie May?
Coming up, I have another powwow. Surprise, surprise. Every time we have an episode, I'm going to have a powwow coming up, at least until October. I'm going to the KBIC powwow in Marquette, Michigan. I don't know how many of you have been to the UP of Michigan. It is beautiful. Marquette is such a cute little town with so many cute little, like, I don't know. It's just a cute little town. There is a cute yarn shop on Main Street that it's where I got my tin linna last time I was there. And also, they had one of my designs on display.
Cute.
Let me talk here about one of my toxic traits, which is that I am very shy when I walk into a yarn shop, and I never introduce myself, even if I see a sample hanging in the window.
Evil. That is evil.
James and Parker are like, you should say something. And I'm like, sometimes I just can't. I can't because I just can't. I have too much social anxiety. So I usually go in disguise, so my sunglasses. And I will buy something if I need it, and I needed something to knit. And they had it was just like a beautiful little yarn shop. Cute. I also got like a little felt pouch. Like I got a few things that they had, like a lot of, like local artist type stuff. And I loved it. So I can't wait to go to Marquette for that powwow.
And go back and say hi to the person that's working at the yarn shop.
So, okay, maybe I'll go and introduce myself this time. There are moose in the UP, so maybe I'll see a moose.
Nice.
And then the weekend after that, I think I'm going to Des Moines with James for he's playing a concert that he's playing in an orchestra that's doing like Final Fantasy music. So
fun. Nice. I am taking a trip to Idaho to meet my niece, who is now a month old, and I'm so excited. And then I also will be going to the Oregon coast, which we do every year with Caden's family, which I am also looking forward to. While I'm there, I'm going to teach my other two nieces how to knit. Finley's now 7, and Larkin is almost 5, so I'm going to teach them both how to knit. They're both already very crafty, but it was a very high honor because their mom also knows how to knit, their grandma knows how to knit, and their mom, Laura, texted me the other day and was like, the girls are ready for Aunt Sparks to teach them how to knit, and I was like, yay! So I got them Malabrigo worsted yarn, because it's so soft. It comes in really cute colors. And we're going to do the very fun trick of knitting a garter stitch square, and then you can sew it in a specific way that turns it into a bunny. Very fun.
That is so cute.
So we're going to do that. And their dad, Mitchell, is potentially going to teach me how to bake baguettes. Because I love a baguette, and I want to know how to make them. So that's on my list.
I can't wait for you to make me a baguette.
You don't love a baguette, though.
I don't love a baguette as a sandwich bread.
Because
I like it as a soaking bread. Again, what can I say? I'm a delicate flower with delicate skin. A baguette it tears up the top of my mouth.
Yeah.
But I like dipping it. I like having it
love a
as
baguette.
like
I love it chewy and crunchy.
Ooh, thinking about it hurts my old teeth.
Well, everybody, this is now to the gratitudes and goodbyes.
Aww.
Thank you, everyone, so much. We can't say it enough. We will continue to keep saying it over and over and over and over. A reminder that our next show is going to be the Sit Sat on May 3rd at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Then real quick turnaround for the next Knit Nat Chit Chat, which will be Wednesday, May 7th, same time, same place, 6:30 p.m. Make sure to call the Chit Chat hotline. Ring, ring.
That's what it sounds like. Let us know what you think. If you had a comment that we missed or couldn't. One of the bad things about the way that we're doing this is that we can't read the chat once it's posted to YouTube for some reason. It just doesn't let us with the program that we're using. So if there's something that you really want us to address, we would love to hear it. Yeah. Or if you just want to say something nice to us, we would love it.
If you want to say something not nice to us, we also can handle it. But just think about
keep it constructive. I don't need to hear mean things
we don't
for
need
no
to
reason.
Hear mean things. And I don't think that we will.
I don't think that we will either. But
if anybody is sitting here for 2 hours and 30 minutes, that's not good for you.
No, it isn't. You should not hyperfixate on things that you don't like. All haters be gone.
But we love all of you so much. Thank you for bearing with us this episode. I think that we had a really great first episode, technologically wise. And so, of course, the second episode, we had to figure some things out.
Yeah,
we're going to definitely work on our microphones because we do not like that in even the slightest.
I hate it. I especially hate it because, I am self-conscious about my voice. So
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to feel like you're having to purposely be quiet, or it's just, we're going to figure it out so we can talk normally and you guys don't have to
You don't have to suffer.
horrible times in your ears
Yeah.
of echoes.
Yeah.
Thank you for enjoying the hot dog explosion that
My
has
favorite
existed.
moment. You know what? I'm going to have, just for good luck, another.
Nice. Me too. It is really good.
Park
Just
and
so
I love
everyone
meat
knows.
sticks. Maybe we should have a meat stick section sometime because I'm our number one choice. Meat stick.
Jerky. Yeah, we'll figure out the mic. People are wondering if it's all the way plugged in. But
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Sometimes mine is like blinking. Really weird. Oh, really weird. Anyway, for us at a later date.
We will work on it.
And we can
We're
just
so
do
sorry.
one mic too. But love you guys so much. See you soon.
Thank you to the person who just said it's the mic and not me. I appreciate it because that does make me really nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. We love you.
Thank you. We love you. This now concludes episode 2 of Knit Knat Chit Chat. Wait. Sorry, you guys. Can you still hear us? Yes. Why can't I hear my music? Okay. Anyway. Okay. They can still hear us.
Can they hear the music?
Let's do our outro. Yes.
Okay. This episode was made possible by our sponsor, CocoKnits. Thoughtfully designed knit patterns and craft tools so you can delight in the making. And the support of viewers like you.
Artwork by Kaden McGreevy. Music by Dan Poppin.
Call us on the Chit Chat hotline at 872-204-6976.
Again, that is 872-204-6976.
This is Jessie May.
This is Park.
We knitted.
We natted.
We chitted.
We chatted.
See you next time.
Goodbye.